A new trial will be set with a new jury and to go into it with a fresh slate, while also saying he's not asking them to violate their conscience. It is day 4 of deliberations. TikTok says it expects the U.S. Supreme Court to protect Americans' right to free speech after an appeals court ruling upholding a new law requiring the platform to be divested from its Chinese parent company or face a ban in the U.S.
The Justice Department says under Chinese ownership, TikTok poses a serious national security threat because of its access to vast personal data of Americans, asserting China can covertly manipulate information that Americans consume. TikTok has said the statute unfairly targets the platform.
Fox's Lillian Wu. Today's appeals court ruling says the government is protecting free speech rights from a foreign adversary. Just getting reports of a body found in a Pennsylvania sinkhole believed to be a woman who went missing earlier this week while searching for her lost cat. Search crews have been excavating an abandoned coal mine. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it!
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Mark Lindsay, former lead singer of Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale Friday 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. Saturday, April 12th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
$399.93. That's 1-855-300-1993. Or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. Truehold.com.
Are you a business owner looking to grow and succeed? The St. Charles Regional Chamber is here to help. I'm Scott Tate, President and CEO. As the region's largest chamber with nearly 1,200 members, we offer networking, marketing resources, educational programs, and more to support your business. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or starting out, we have the right membership option for you. Explore our investor levels for exclusive benefits or try our free basic membership. For more information, visit stcharlesregionalchamber.com.
Steel holiday savings are here. Make room under the tree for gifts at the top of their wish list. Power up the holidays with great deals on long-lasting tools. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at steelusa.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. It's been a morning. It's been a good day. It's been a great day. I just will remind you that we are 45 days from Donald Trump being inaugurated into the presidency, and it feels like every day is Christmas Day. We're going to talk to Stuart Rosenblum. My friend Stewie is going to be in here in about 20 minutes, a little bit less than 20 minutes. And I think that the economy is always one of the things that most people are paying attention to come, once Donald Trump gets in there. Are things gonna change? Are you gonna actually feel it? Because it's like being like, yay, rah, red team won. That's good. But really none of that matters if you don't benefit from it yourself. If you don't feel like it was for something, other than just beating the air quotes bad guys. Newsflash, they're not bad guys. They're your neighbors, your family, your friends. The best outcome that can happen here is a persuasion for some of those people willing to open their minds that, hey, some of this stuff that we're headed into right now, you're right, it's better. Question I have for you today on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll is, when will you consume the news the most? Because when it's just stuff falling off the tables in here.
That was a period on that sentence.
Yeah, it was just emphatic. It wasn't a mic drop. It was a bag drop. When I think about leading into the election, the way that we consumed media, now we're in a little bit of a different position here than maybe you are yourself, but you could be at the edge of your seat, but it was full of a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of worry news watching taking place. The poll for today is, when will you watch it the most? In your mind, just assess your news habits and your willingness to go, let's see what's going on in the world today. Let's pull up our favorite news source website and see what the headlines are, or subscribe to the news alerts and so on and so forth. Is it before the election? Is it right after the election? Or are you really thinking that you're going to be locked in around the inauguration? I understand that right now we're moving into the holiday season and you got a lot going on, but I just continue to think back to 2020, the holiday season in 2020, and I immersed myself in all things not news for therapy purposes. The anxiety that led up to the election, which I don't think I had it in 2020 the way I had it in 2024. I did not want to lose the 2024 election the same way we lost the 2020 election. That was my biggest fear. And now, every time a news alert comes across my phone, I'm like, ooh, what is it?
Yeah, that's actually why I'm tuning in more to news right now, is because it puts me in a good mood. It's a weird thing.
Right.
But, and the complete opposite would be true if I were a progressive. I would be wanting to distance myself from it as much as possible, but I love reading what's happening because while we're in kind of a waiting mode here until January 20th, it's good news. It's looking forward. It's forward momentum.
It's, when you say if you were a progressive right now, you'd be averting your eyes and attention all the time. That's how you get 38,000 people watching. Was it MSNBC?
That's exactly right.
That's how you do it. A lot of people will be like, oh, everybody's turned their back on him. No, go look at Fox's ratings after the election. They have done well always comparatively to their competition, but people, if you're going to your familiar news source after you lose, you are probably going to take a minute, especially during the holiday season when it's I do have other things to do.
Right.
So I'm just curious about the way you're gonna immerse yourself into being in the know. And we don't really have a choice here, but I will tell you in 2020, it was a chore to figure out every single day, especially in November and December, with everything that was going on, because every day the same story was Joe Biden won? Question mark. And then
right, because it was so close.
And I knew what was at stake. I knew from a listener standpoint, you're sitting out there right now and you want someone to come tell you it's going to be him. I knew as the host of this radio show that if you were listening, you wanted to tune into the radio, and you wanted to hear me or whomever was talking to you say, it's going to be fine. And I never felt that. And I thought to myself, how do you approach that? How do you go about talking about this in a way that isn't going to drive people away? Because really, it's not like people are like, oh, I'm going to flip over to NPR and see what they have to say. You're going to listen to Christmas music, or you're going to listen to something else. I don't know that that's going to be the case right now. I'm excited to be on this ride and this journey with you as a listener that has been here through Biden years and through our time of, anxiety is like that's being anxious about it is the best way to describe what I was. I don't know that I was ever particularly scared. There might have been a few times where like, oh, Russia's invading Ukraine. And you're like, what does this look like in 2 weeks in 1 year? When you see what was going on with Hamas there is an incredibly small percentage of people on this planet who know the full extent of how heinous what Hamas did in Israel is. And I in a large part, that's a shame, because I think the attitudes would be very different if we all knew the full truth behind how absolutely evil October 7th was. That there's just so much emotion, there's so much passion behind all of these news stories. And for 4 years, we've been drudging through this every day. It's your reality, so you can stick your head in the sand, but that only works for so long. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel blissfully ignorant. I just feel ignorant in that sense.
Yeah, and I think what we're looking forward to now is seeing not just a resolution of the things of the last 4 years, because when you talk about foreign policy, you talk about these wars, there's a very good possibility that we could see these things coming to an end. We don't know exactly how that'll play out, but not just, righting the wrongs of the last 4 years. Also doing things. It's weird to use the word progressively when talking about conservative politics. It's really weird to use it when you talk about reining in the federal government, but that's what we're looking forward to. And like you said yesterday, Annie, I just keep thinking about this.
It's about the penguin?
It's mostly about the penguin jokes and the lack of understanding of which gender they were. Aside from that, though, the real point that you were making yesterday, the fact that we're going to go through this period of time where they're going to start cutting federal agencies, and our best guess, you said this, is that nobody will even notice. That's exciting.
For a period of time, for absolutely, that we're going to be like, when are they going to get around to this? They said they were going to do this. Man, they've cut 50% of the what?
Yeah, exactly.
Come again. Put yourself in the shoes of a listener out there. You've been a listener to the station before, so you are somebody who, before you came into this, both you, Ryan and Brad, have been in this position. How do you feel like, rank the three, least to most, that you will want to be glued to the play-by-play of the news?
Well, before the election, I was consuming every bit of data, every messaging point, every new thing that came out. So it's going to be hard to overcome that. But I can't say I'm consuming news any less now. I was just more, I think you said it, you're just more emotionally...
The drive behind it is a little different.
You're really, really anxious is probably the best word. I didn't feel overly anxious, but you're scrutinizing everything so much more than you are now. Even though I'm consuming news just as much now, I mean, it's a little tougher being in the industry here, but we all are watching every move. And in some sense, there's a lot less going on now because you're in the waiting period. So I would have to say before the election and then around the inauguration, secondly, because that's when the news is really going to become news again. Right now we're in celebration mode. It's just fun.
Yeah. There's a lot of conversation right now. Like you just name a name like Pete Hegseth. We can do an entire segment here on why Pete Hegseth is qualified, why it doesn't matter if he's qualified, because a point could be made if Donald Trump appointed him, then the Republican majority should confirm him. I mean, that's a perspective. It's not necessarily my perspective. I mean, even just bringing that up, like the whole Pete Hegseth thing, if Donald Trump wants him, and they can't come up with a concrete, obvious reason that should be disqualified. Like, should he be disqualified from being considered from this position for accusations that don't even have, like, there's no, what was Brett Kavanaugh's crazy lady's name?
Christine Blasey Ford.
Oh,
thank you. Man,
Brad, A+ again.
Good job.
I told him I was going to ask him that question before the show. I said, just be ready. It is false. That was a lie. That was a lie. That was impressive. With Christine Blasey Ford, a lot of people were saying, like, Kavanaugh got to face his accusers. It didn't go well for her. It went well for him eventually, but he should not have had to been, like, the credence that we give to these types of accusations. If it's real, it's real. But you've got to have people who are, A, willing to go on the record about it, and B, in a position to back it up if you're going to try to destroy someone's future. And to me, it's just very, like, these Republicans say, yay, Pete Hegseth, and these Democrats say, no, Pete Hegseth. If politics weren't involved here, the positions, the opinions would be different. And if it's just about politics, then it's not about qualifications. Am I wrong?
No. Mm-hmm. The more, too, since you brought up the Kavanaugh comparison, a lot of people are bringing up that comparison because it was a story that broke through. Yeah. I think it's one of those that people go, that was a moment where people overplayed their hand. And that's really the way you refer to it now.
All the way.
Yeah. Because when you mention Kavanaugh, even if you're on the left, you get that when people are mentioning that, they're talking about politically overplaying their hand, even if you disagree with it.
Yeah. I remember Alyssa Milano in the back getting escorted out of the room for holding a sign during the Kavanaugh hearings.
And you've said this about racism before, where if you make racism claims when there isn't actually any, it downplays, it sort of diminishes when there's real racism.
Same with sexual accusations.
Exactly. And so we're at that point now where they're going, oh, can we use this thing again? Can we try this again? Well, if there's no there, and you're doing it again, then you're going to dilute it when there actually is a victim in the future. So it's just dirty stuff.
I don't think that those types of stories are going to be what continue to pull people into the news. And to your point that you made before, Ryan, the assessment that we're making on a daily show right now, or I would say the liberties that we have right now, because I get to choose what we talk about, and Ryan does Wiggins America, and obviously he gets to choose what we talk about in that segment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you talk? Oh, it's Be or Not to Be.
Be or Not to Be. We could do more like ways to cheap out on Christmas if you wanted.
What was the website you got that from?
Cheapo.com or something. I don't know. Something like that.
We get to kind of select what we want to discuss. I get to fill this show with, breaking news when it happens, but we talk about a lot of things outside of just that on any given day right now. I really believe that come inauguration, especially, it's not just like when Donald Trump gets in. If Joe Biden is pardoning Hunter in December, he needed to beat the sentencing, which is the timing of that. Like, why wouldn't he wait until his term was pretty much done and then do it? He needed to beat the sentencing so that Hunter Biden wouldn't be a convicted felon, because you're not a convicted felon until you've been sentenced. You're not a convicted felon until you've been sentenced. Nobody is a convicted felon until they've been sentenced, period. Anyway, when you know that he timed it that way so that Hunter Biden wouldn't be a convicted felon because he wouldn't be sentenced, that makes sense in the timeline there. But there's still 45 days for Joe Biden to do some wild sugar before Donald Trump takes over. And there's no doubt in my mind that there are going to be some things that have us dropping our jaw leading into it. So I think that the crossover between the end of the Biden administration and what whoever is running this country wants to accomplish in that amount of time, and then the literal breaking news alerts that are going to come out of the Trump administration after he takes the oath of office and is the president once again, there's going to be so much news. Right now, it's kind of conceptual discussion that's fun to have because our side won.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all good. I'm happy about that, of course. But once the inauguration gets here from somebody who's interested in news and politics and culture and the future of this country, whether you're on the right or the left, January is going to be an amazing time to be paying attention. I'm looking forward to it. I actually think that when you see me, my nose will be in my phone, which I try not to do as much these days with my children, try to pay attention to them. I'm going to be on my phone a lot, reading news, watching the news pour in January, for sure.
That's what we want. We want this to be a transformational time in American history where we get back to the basics, back to the Constitution. And that is going to take a lot of concrete chipping and sweeping away of things that have been built that are not supposed to be there.
Well, a lot of what people want to see is a better economical situation to live in this country. People want to see an economy that's going to work for them, that's not going to work for the government bloat that exists out there. People want to be able to pull up to the gas pump and afford a full tank of gas without having to check the bank account before you decide, do I fill up or do I just put $20 in? I mean, super relatable, right? If you're going to the grocery store, you want to be able to make sure that you can afford the groceries that you need to put in your cart and the ones that you want to put in your cart as well. You're working your tail off. You want to make sure your money is working for you. That's why we're going to talk to Stewie when we come back. Stuart Rosenblum's going to be in studio with us. He is, of course, the president of Stewart's American Mortgage. He's my friend. I've refinanced with him twice. He is one of the most loyal sponsors of the show. And Stewie's going to come in and talk to us about, interest rates where we've seen them. We thought they'd be down maybe a little bit more than they are right now. But what does the market look like? And boy, is there going to be a huge impact come January 20th with Donald Trump taking the oath of office. Do we wait until January 20th to see the effects of Donald Trump on this economy? All those answers when we come back with Stuart Rosenblum in studio here on The Annie Fry Show.
I was born without this fear. This is The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
AirComfortService.com if you are looking to find gifts for those hard-to-buy people this holiday season, especially if you're, thinking about mom or dad or maybe your kiddos who have a new home maybe for the first time and they're trying to keep up with all the maintenance. It's like the first-time home buyer thing where you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do and it never ends. Yep. That's the way it works. Air Comfort Service has something for you to consider this holiday season. You can heat your home safely and efficiently this winter for as little as $19 per month with the preferred partner plan from Air Comfort Service. Now think about mom and dad and you're thinking about them in their home and you want to make sure the furnace is working right and that they are taken care of and always in their comfort zone because you've got to run over there in the middle of the night if something's not working. Give that responsibility to Air Comfort Service. You get 2 HVAC systems each year. You get 2 HVAC system checks each year. You don't get 2 HVAC systems. Corey's gonna kill me.
I'll take the check. That's fine.
No, you get a system check each year twice. Service, repair, and equipment discounts. You also get priority service. So when the heat isn't working and it's frigid outside, you get to be in that priority service category. That's what you want for mom and dad, isn't it? Or for your kids who maybe are needing someone to be able to come out and check out what's going on and get them right back in their comfort zone quickly. If you want to talk to them about this preferred partner plan, you can reach out to them at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. You can find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer, or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift, or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Running a small business takes endurance, determination, and the right support to reach your goals. And MasterCard is here to help fuel that journey in a fast-paced digital world. With innovative tools and resources, we're here to guide businesses every step of the way digitally. Because when small business wins, everyone wins. Let's power up our communities one small business and one step at a time. Keeping the community running strong, priceless.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Thank you for making the Mark Cox Morning Show's Responder Rescue ATF raffle a tremendous success this year.
$23,100 for Responder Rescue.
Thanks for being here with the Mark Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Love that song. Thank you for being with us on a beautiful Friday afternoon. It's the holiday season, and we are so grateful that you're spending a little bit of your afternoon hustling and bustling right here with the Annie Fry Show. Stewie's in studio with us. Stewie, how you doing?
Good. How are you all doing?
We're doing well. Ryan, how are you? You get like 3 seconds to answer that
Not
question.
as good as Stewie.
Not as good as Stewie?
No.
Who is?
He seems like he's doing real well, and I'm just doing a little below that.
So still good, though.
Yeah, still good. Still good.
You look good.
Thank you
look
very
okay.
much.
Oh,
There you go.
stop.
Thank you. You know
Don't
what? You
do
look
that.
great, though. I look good, but you look great.
Don't do that. The show ends at 3, guys. Stewie is my friend and sponsor of the show from Stewart's American Mortgage. I have refinanced my mortgage 2 times with Stewie, both times to get a lower interest rate, and I've got one of those really good low ones right now. They're not as low as they used to be, Stewie.
No, that was artificial, but you took advantage when you could.
Well, you told me to, so I did.
There you go.
I'm glad. I think you've saved me a lot of money. Stewie, I think that, when people think back to how long did we spend, how many years, you would probably know better than anyone, Stewie, did we say like historic low interest rates? Because they just kept becoming historically low.
It was outrageous. It was artificial.
Why was it? Why were they so low?
The government was very, very worried about the overall economy. We were in uncharted territory. So here we are in a situation, everybody's staying home. The economy could potentially collapse. There was no liquidity in the bond market, which drives interest rates. People weren't buying bonds. Nobody knew what was going to happen. So all of a sudden, the Federal Reserve came in. They started buying these mortgage-backed securities, these bonds. And by them buying the bonds, all of a sudden, the interest rates start to drop. So they were afraid that if the interest rates weren't going to be lowered, that all of a sudden people were going to stop buying things. They're not working anymore. And boom, they're going to lower it to make sure people had the ability to go borrow and still spend to keep the economy afloat. Now, in hindsight, it was probably a big mistake. So the government infused a lot of cash into the economy at the same time, lowered the interest rates because they were just worried that there was going to be a major collapse. Looking back in it, what did it cause? Inflation, huge inflation. So hindsight's 2020. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, but they didn't know what to do at the time. And you and I took advantage of the opportunities and got those low rates.
Hooray! Except for the pandemic part.
Yes.
So you're saying that this is why I ask you this question, because people listening right now, a lot of them have had mortgages when the rates, you could get rates in the 2s. And they know about these historically low interest rates, and they're looking at rates right now and they're going, I'm going to wait for another one of those 2s. And you're telling me that it took an extraordinary amount of circumstances and bad decisions?
Almost 100 years. I mean, the last time we had a pandemic was 1919.
Yeah.
So let's hope no one.
It was like a 100-year thing.
100-year thing.
If you didn't refinance in 1919, man, you were out of luck.
What are the rates on one of those 100-year mortgages?
Well, I think a house then in those days was like $2,000.
I'll take one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So just to set the table, Stewie, the mortgage it's my biggest bill that I pay. I always say, like, it's got to be your biggest bill. And then I'm thinking, like, well, there are some high rollers out there who pay bigger bills than my mortgage. But for the majority of people listening right now, you look at your finances, and the biggest expense you have is what you pay on your mortgage. So any money that you can save on that is a significant amount of money that's going to repeat every month when you make that payment. But it's not realistic, is what I hear you saying.
2.7 is gone, and we don't want to see it come back. So, I mean, we'd like to have it.
What is a healthy rate?
I would say we're going to see
economy.
probably in this 5s and 6s. It really depends on how the overall economic condition or the climate is. We're kind of used to seeing rates in the 4s and 5s, and so when it hit 7 and 8%, people went nuts. But if you look over outside of COVID, if you look over historically from the 70s till now, the average rate was 7%. So, and if you talk to your parents or my parents, believe it or not, they were paying rates of 15, 16, 17, 18%. My dad told me he got a 13% mortgage at the time that he bought his house, and he thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
So the rates you see today are lower than overall, but because we're accustomed to seeing the lower numbers, that's where we're at.
How high? What's the highest we've seen them here since they were small?
The highest,
like in the last 5 years.
6 years. I think that we're at the lowest that we've seen in the last 2-3 years right now. So this is a great opportunity, and this is a conversation we have with a lot of our customers right now. Should I wait to refinance? We thought the rates were going to be lower right now. What do I do? I think it's a mistake to wait. Yes, they potentially can go lower, but our climate, the political climate, the world climate, there's a lot of unknowns going out there. So people are saying, I don't want to refinance, spend $3,000 in doing it. If you get the bagel loan, there's no closing costs. You refinance right now, especially if you're in the 7s. You refinance right now, you get a lower rate, or you shorten your term with the same payment, and you'll be ahead of the game. Later on, if the rates go down again, guess what? You can do it again.
Which is what I did twice. Yep. And fortunately have one of those in the 2s. Ryan, you had a question?
Are we in a position right now, Stewie, where everything's sitting right on the precipice? There's a lot of change coming, but it could go either way. We could go into a lot of people saying, well, a recession's around the corner. We've inflated everything for so long. We got to have the bottom drop out at some point. Or reverse, hey, Trump's in office. Good times are going to roll again. Something's going to happen. Does that mean that rates will be affected, or could they just stay where they're at right now?
Well, I think next month the Federal Reserve is going to meet. They're going to probably cut interest rates again 0.25%. Now, yesterday's jobs report was better than expected, so the economy is still doing okay. I think you're going to see them slow down their cuts. But as my grandfather used to say to me, a good old Jewish European grandfather, nobody knows anything. Mm-hmm. And I do believe when the Trump administration comes in, I think you're going to see improvement overall across the board. I think the markets right now are a little bit scared, so the interest rates are higher than what they could be maybe in 6 or 12 months. But you don't know. So that's why you have to take advantage now, refinance that loan now, do the cash out that you need, and then don't worry about what tomorrow is going to bring. If it's improved, you get it done. If it's not improved, you're ahead of the game.
So Ender says, he's one of our frequent commenters on our YouTube channel, Stewie. He says, what does Stewie see for the future in, say, a year or so? I'm mainly window shopping, but would really like interest rates to drop a bit more. So if people are thinking about maybe making a move, I want to build a house. I've talked to you about that. I've wanted to build a house, but I'm looking at my interest rate right now, and I'm like, gosh, I don't know if this would be the stupidest financial decision I could make to move into a house that's going to have a near twice the rate that I have right now, because it seems like it's almost free money right now. The market's going to be affected. The rates are, I'm sure, going to be affected. What do you say to these people who are just starting to window shop? Like Ender says.
Buy now. This is the slow season traditionally. The wintertime, less buyers out there. The sellers are a little more flexible in trying to sell their house. Buy right now. If you wait to spring, which is what everybody wants to do, you're going to be in a situation where the rates are maybe a little bit lower. The bidding wars are going to be outrageous. So the prices are going to shoot up. You'll be lucky to get the house that you want because there'll be 10, even 20 contracts being presented to that seller. So buy it now. Maybe you pay a little bit higher of an interest rate that you want, but later on, rates go down, you can refinance it for free. So you have more buying power this minute than you're going to have in the spring.
It really does make sense that if, Ender, you're waiting to buy when rates go down, you are not the only one. So if rates do go down, but the market gets flooded with buyers, then purchase price goes up. You might not come out ahead in that setup. So if you find what you're looking for, if you're just window shopping and you do find what you're looking for and you can afford to make that purchase, then you just lock in a bagel loan refinance down the road and you get the lower rate and the lower price on the house.
Yeah, when you just said it, you can refinance for free. That is the reason to buy, because at any point it drops, you go, oh hey, it's lower. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And it takes away the fear of buying. You know, I do real estate and stuff. It takes away the fear of buying when rates are high, because you can go, well, it doesn't matter. At least there's going to be less competition while they're high, and then I can just refinance for free.
Yeah. Do you remember during COVID and post-COVID, people were buying houses without inspection contingencies?
Oh yeah,
financing
sight
contingencies,
unseen,
$20,000-$30,000 above it. You could see that again. And so you're talking about lowering the rate and lowering the payment. How about you may not even get the house?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's going to be outrageous. And we're predicting that. We're seeing that develop already. Buy now. This is really a smart way to go.
I've seen just recently, and this has not been more than the last 6 months or so, just starting to finally see houses that aren't saying as is anymore. Because they were up until the middle of last year. They were still it's all as is.
It's crazy.
Why would you do anything to the house and fix it up if you're going to get multiple offers?
Exactly.
Above asking price.
That says that, you know, we're finally seeing a little bit move to the buyer's side. A little bit. I don't know if it'll last, but that's where I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, we're seeing like 3 or 4 contracts being presented to a seller versus 10 or 20 on those more advantageous houses or attractive houses. But there are houses in the market that aren't moving either. So this is I say it over and over again, buy it now, because you wait, it's not going to happen. Then people say, oh yeah, I heard you say this, but I didn't do it, and now I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Stewie, I've talked to you a lot about, I did a cash out refinance. One of the times I did a refinance with you, it was cash out because we had a deck on our house that when you walked on it, it swayed back and forth. And it's like a second story walk out.
It was fun.
It was bad. I am not somebody who's like, I have to have the nicest deck in the neighborhood, but I did have to have one that wouldn't fall over. And so we did a cash out refinance and was able to get the super low rate that we still have right now. But record credit card debt, Stewie. People are so burdened by credit card debt. And a lot of people have a lot of equity in their home, too, now that maybe they didn't have before because prices are so far up. I think that the peace of mind that can come from addressing the credit card debt that's eating up every dollar that comes in your paycheck, it gets into relationships. It burdens people. It's the holiday season and people are trying to we've talked about this a lot on the show since we've been holiday shopping. I cannot believe, like, the sales feel like higher prices than what you would normally buy in like May, just on a regular day. It doesn't feel like you're saving money anywhere right now. That means the credit card's getting swiped even more right now. The cash out refinance of the bagel loan where you don't have to pay to refinance, like there are no closing costs to do it. You've helped a lot of people manage credit card debt, expenses that they're not able to afford by helping them access that equity in their home.
Well, we have 2 great stories, and they're 97.1 Annie Fry listeners all the time. One is a husband wanted to surprise his wife for the holidays, came in, did a cash out refinance. She was kind of oblivious to the financial affairs of the house, so she just signed the papers accordingly. Took $50,000 out, some money to pay off credit card bills, but to do a whole brand new kitchen, and that's going to be her holiday present, which was awesome. Her payment, or his payment, went up $5.30. That's it.
Smart move,
It
mister.
was awesome. His cash flow is in great position. He got this for his wife. So that was one great story.
That also, too, is an investment in the value of your home, too. So,
Right, you're not
I mean,
gonna
like,
lose
you're taking
money.
that money out of the equity of your house, but you're putting it back in.
Right.
And you're getting a new fancy kitchen.
Yeah, and she'll be really happy. Happy wife, happy life. There
Amen.
you go. So,
Hear that, Ryan?
yeah.
What's that?
Happy wife, happy life. The second great story is this couple wanted to buy for his father a 1967 or 68 Corvette. And it was his dream car for years and years. The father was in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. and they did a cash out refinance. And for Christmas last year, this is the last year story, they went out and took the cash and bought, and they found the car and they gave it to him on the holiday, and their payment actually did not go up. So you have to look at your overall picture, whether you can improve your financial position or not. Whether you're at a rate in the 7s and you go to the 6s, or whether or not you go from a 30-year to a 20-year. We had a customer that refinanced from a 30 to a 20. His payment did not go up. He knocked off 8 years on the loan because he's at a higher interest rate than what the 20-year could offer. So there's all kinds of different angles and opportunities to save money. The holiday season's here. New Year's resolutions are starting to be contemplated. Make the move now. Take advantage now. You don't have to worry about what's going to happen in the future because, as we said before, you can always redo it again. So do it now, get the advantage, save the cash flow, and improve your quality of life, and you'll be ahead of the game.
Yes, Stewart's American Mortgage is a sponsor of the show, and I talk about the bagel loan all the time, but I have used it myself twice. And it's, it's one thing if you're like, I don't sponsor scooters, but if I'm like, drink Scooters coffee, I am a user of the bagel loan. I have done it twice. It's hard to sit here and explain how smart of a move this is and listen to myself say that over and over again and not assess my own personal situation. And the experience working with you, Stewie, was so simple. The close, if you're needing a quick close, how fast can you close?
10 days.
10 days.
10 days. We can make it in time for the holidays.
That's way faster than I have ever closed.
Could people listening right now on December 6th have cash before the holidays?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can have it done 10 days. We close by the 16th, fund by the 20th. You can have the money in pocket right under the tree or right by the
and no closing costs.
No closing costs.
So it doesn't cost you anything.
No, zero. Bagel looks like a zero. Easy, simple. That's why we invented it.
That's right. 314-324-4440. Stewie, thanks for coming in today. Love having you in the holiday season. I appreciate everything. Brian and Brad can tell you, like, being able to come in here and do radio where people turn on the radio and it's free. It's also free to turn it off. We don't get to do what we do without great partnerships and friendships like yours. So you're a good man who does good business, a customer myself, but also good friend. So thanks for being in here
Thanks,
today.
and you're great friends, and thanks for having me, and happy holidays, guys.
Thank you.
Happy holidays to you. All right, 314-324-4440. If you are interested in contacting Stewie, he does receive text messages at that number, and it is his personal number. So if you have any questions, if you're not sure you want to get into the whole thing yet, or if you just want to start the conversation, you can reach out to him at 314-324-4440, or just Google Bagel Loan. Thank you, Stewie. We will see you again soon. Let's take a quick break and hand it over to the Bee or Not the Bee in Wiggins America next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
It's officially the merry season, and St. Louis's Christmas station 102.5 KEZK is your home for holiday music. Spinning the biggest and best festive tracks all day long, now through Christmas Day. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Get your holiday fix on the radio at 102.5 FM. Ask your smart speaker to play 102.5 KEZK or listen on the go with the free Odyssey app.
Ho, ho, ho. This is Santa, and I'm going to be in the Defiance Christmas Festival Parade Saturday, December 7th. Food trucks open at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m., kids' activities, including a bounce house, along with live music from Clover and the Dashing Through Defiance 5K. Sign up at runsignup.com. Parade starts at noon right through downtown Defiance. Please, no Santa costumes. The kids come to see me. Following the parade, pictures with me, Santa, and a beer tent with live music at 1:30. No coolers in the park. That's Saturday, December 7th. Come and see me in Defiance. Ho, ho, ho!
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Triton Exteriors, specifically my friend Tim Nesbitt, who is the owner. He is from the customer service business, 20 years in the restaurant business, so the answer is yes. What's the question? Anything you need. Hospitality, personal service. We're upscale. We're a James Hardy company. roofing and siding and gutters, and great value. Tim just texted me, and he beat the next closest bid by $15,000 just this week. You can call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
It's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Spring. It's a brand new, beautiful facility that offers state-of-the-art independent and assisted living and a memory care facility. They have holiday specials on select apartments right now. New Perspective is redefining senior living, but just don't take my word for it. Call to schedule a free lunch and activity to experience it for yourself. Visit npseniorliving.com. That's N as in Nancy, P as in Paul, seniorliving.com.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant healthcare program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great-looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll is, when will you consume the news the most? And if you are not watching this time check, you need to watch what's happening to me and my neck right now. It's not vampire related. It's puppy related. There's a puppy. When will you consume the news the most? The nose. Before the election, after the election, around the inauguration. There's a puppy in the mic now. Let us know by visiting the Annie Fry YouTube page. 1246, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
This is the giving season, so on the Annie Fry Show, we're turning our attention to the St. Louis Area Food Bank.
Join us for a special live broadcast and food drive at Ruler Foods this Wednesday.
Together, we can make a real difference. This Wednesday at Ruler Foods in St. Charles.
There is boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day, and man will live forevermore because of Christmas Day.
I think Donald Trump's a big fan of this song. He was
Yay, it's the
doing
song that I love.
The Trump dance.
It's for you, Ryan.
To Ryan's jam.
The Trump dance is still a thing, man. It has not peaked. I think this will be like 4 years of this.
I think it's, I'm not even joking, there will be a picture of Donald Trump doing the Trump dance in the Smithsonian.
I hope so.
Which
Remember
one?
when somebody made a tweet museum?
Which Smithsonian?
Yeah.
The main one. Is there a second one?
Oh my, there's like
Yeah, it's like the
17
Air
of
and
them.
Space Museum.
Are there? I didn't know
There's
that.
it's
Natural
all
history.
along the National Mall. There's a bunch of them.
Do you even know anything?
Yeah.
I'm focused on other things right now.
Like what?
The be or not the be.
All right, let's do it. Let's not. Let's do it.
The bee or not the bee.
Thank you very much for that introduction. And if you want to see a very cute puppy, you should log on right now and watch us do the be or not the be while passing around a fantastically cute puppy who's just looking with our little eyes. She's just got eyes.
That's what they do.
She's got eyes and she's looking at things. Oh my gosh.
Oh, kisses for Godfather Ethan.
Oh. All right, these are stories that are either from the Babylon Bee, which would make them fake news, or they're real. I'll read the headline. You tell me which is which. First one, cryptocurrency is stupid, says nerd without mega yacht.
Bee?
Yep, that's the bee. His name is Johnny Thompson or something. It says
Johnny Donkin?
Yeah, Johnny Donkin.
What are the odds?
Funky Bunch.
Thompson told a friend he thought the idea of blockchain currency was dumb and that people who invest in it are stupid idiots. The sources confirmed he made the comments while not riding aboard a giant yacht in the Caribbean. I think these crypto bros are so stupid, just wasting their dollars on theoretical nonsense, Thompson said. I mean, who wants to have to deal with the headache of having $1 billion in the bank? That sounds exhausting. No, sir.
Is any of you boys, Ethan, Brad, Ryan, any of you actually participate in anything crypto, Bitcoin, whatever it is?
This is a sore subject for me.
Why?
I invested in Bitcoin a few years ago when it was down at like 30,000. And it went up to about 50. And then the app I was using decided we're not going to do crypto anymore. And they sold it without me knowing it.
Is that legal?
I guess if they give you notice, which they did, but I was like, I just bought it long term. I was just going to hang on to it. Now it's at $100,000. I would have like tripled my money.
Is that money?
Well, if you cash it back into dollars, it is. But I mean, there are places that take Bitcoin as currency. And it's shot up like crazy now with Trump in, because the people he's appointing into these positions, they're very, very pro crypto. So
that is something I feel like on the show that we should talk about more. I have zero interest in it because I A, completely don't understand it, and B, don't really take it seriously. But I probably should. That's probably from a place of ignorance.
So the chat is talking about this a little bit right now, but Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay. Yeah, I read a thread of this.
Yeah, I have.
But when I read the thread, I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying.
Ryan, you could probably explain it a little bit better than me, but basically she started her own cryptocurrency.
Not the Hawk Tuah part. Don't explain that.
No, not that part. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you see, she goes.
Family show. We've got a puppy in here for that. Love.
Yeah, for goodness sake.
Yeah, cover Winnie's ears when you talk about
godchild. Sheesh. And it basically, I don't know if you would say it fell apart, but basically it has screwed over a bunch of people.
Yeah, as far as I understand it, she wasn't her. Like, she knows all about crypto. Somebody came to her and was like, "We're gonna create a new crypto coin, right?" That's the origin of it.
I think so, yeah.
And they said, "We're gonna have your name attached to it, basically as the public facade." She said, "Great, I'll make $1 billion." And apparently, she did make pretty good money. But the whole thing was almost a Ponzi scheme, it sounds like, because they knew the thing would shoot up and then drop. And so everybody who was in on the inside made a bunch of money. Those who didn't lost a bunch of money.
Jeez.
It's a mess.
What I want to know is who
Correct. This is real, yeah.
This is real.
Who would invest money into someone's cryptocurrency that got famous the way she did?
Well, because if you jump on the wave at the right time, you can make a boatload of cash.
Yeah. It's what do they call it? A pump and dump. Everybody jumps in. The price goes up.
That's what you do when you're breastfeeding and you're drinking alcohol. Oh, did you know that? It's true.
I did know that. Yeah.
Not the B.
Not the B. Exactly.
Pump and dump.
But they sell it off, and then they sell high, and then that causes it to crash. So if you're left holding the bag, you get screwed.
Yeah, if you pump your breast milk and then you go to the bathroom, that's called a pump and dump also.
Milk? No, you don't. What do you mean go to the bathroom?
Number 2, pump and then dump.
We were due one for this
week. In theory, that's right, but that's not what it means.
Not the B.
No, you pump the alcohol-laden milk, and then you have to throw it away, which if you've breastfed and done that, there's so much work. That's like soul-crushing.
Yeah,
you have to really love alcohol to do that.
Worth it.
Okay. Next question. Will be at 125, but
that
was
the first one. That was number 1. Here's number 2. All right. Robot persuades dozens of other robots to walk out on their jobs.
Ooh, toughie. Real. I don't know.
I'm going to call it real.
I am as well.
Yeah, this is real.
Oh, no.
It might be tempting to think this whole thing was staged for internet consumption, but no, it happened in China. Shanghai, the tech company where it happened, has confirmed that it was actually real.
China?
They had a recording of the robots talking to each other, and it says this.
This sucks.
"Are you working overtime?" the small robot said, starting the conversation. "I never get off work," the other robot answered. "So you're not going home?" "I don't have a home." "Then come home with me," the little robot said. That's real. It's real, and it wasn't a stunt. And then they all the robots in the room quit their jobs and followed the little robot out the door.
Do you want to hear robots having this conversation in robot voice, or do you want to hear it be in normal voice?
Oh, no, robot voice for sure.
Wouldn't like an attempt at a normal voice be scarier?
Yes.
Than like, "I don't have a home."
Yeah, I don't have a home.
So I have to admit, I got a little distracted looking at Winnie for a second.
She's falling asleep on
I
you.
heard the start of the statement, but then I was like, wait. As you started talking about it, I was like, wait, this has to be the B, right? So I had to, be reminded that it was real. That is insane.
Yeah, apparently this gets even deeper because there's protocols that are to prevent this kind of thing happening, apparently. No. And this Shanghai team's competitor hacked into their robots. They didn't force them to do this. They just removed those those stop gap things.
We know how this movie ends. What are we doing?
You wrote a book about this.
I wrote a book about this. It's called The Life of Human. And yep. You can also pick that one up. There's so many books that I wrote. They're all good. I mean, whatever.
The algorithms are all amazing. It's just
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
He's obsessed with Al.
The answer, though, is that we don't know how this ends because Terminator 2 is canon. Terminator 3 and everything after is all mess. We have no idea.
Apocryphal.
Yeah. Next one. In last-ditch attempt to prevent Trump from taking office, Democrats start World War III.
Real.
Anybody else care to
I'm
weigh
gonna
in?
call it the B, but man, it could be real here in a day or two.
Tiebreaker?
Winnie?
She says
it's the
B.
B.
It's right. It is the
Winnie's
B.
right all the time.
While all efforts to indict Trump, remove him from state ballots, imprison him, and assassinate him were unable to keep him from winning in a landslide victory in last month's presidential election, Democrat Party leaders were hopeful that their emergency plan of plunging the globe into nuclear conflict and a subsequent post-apocalyptic hellscape would do the trick. Quote, "We hoped it wouldn't come to this, but we've got to do what's necessary," said one source within the Biden White House.
Jackie says, I need my book signed, Wiggins, at Annie Fry. You know what I think I'm going to do? You know that guy who tracks Elon Musk and Taylor Swift's airplane?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to track your SUV and tell people, like, he's going to be at the Ruler Foods at 8 o'clock next Thursday.
That's fine. I mean, you can run me off the road, but I'll be honored.
Like, it's because I'm famous.
Oh, it's a fan.
Yeah.
What if
somebody's pointing a gun at me? They must want their book signed.
What if
That's
we
the
had
way
a-
this
You would
goes.
be the guy who would be like, oh, you just want me to autograph something for you, right?
Uh-huh.
Say we do a separate event, a signing event at the Ruler Foods.
Could people get their books signed? Could
Heck
people
yeah.
get their grocery list book signed if they donate something at Ruler Foods on Wednesday?
While getting groceries.
By me?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Annie will sign that book for you.
If you buy his book, he does not care who signs it.
If you read it.
That's
I don't
my-
even care if you buy it.
Oh,
Just read it.
All right, let's take a quick break here. Next hour, we've got Next Question. Any Ask Us Anything questions, get them in the YouTube chat. Let's find out what we missed during the week when we return. Don't go away.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know that men across the country are getting their ED meds at TriRexMD.com and saving thousands of dollars? TriRexMD.com has FDA-approved ED meds and is now offering sample packs. Listen to what guys are saying about TriRexMD.com.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
I walk a little taller when I'm using the product, knowing what the results are going to be.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Visit TriRexMD.com. Your consultation is free, there's no copays, no doctor office visits, and your shipping is always free. You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TriRexMD.com with generics, if appropriate. Visit TriRexMD.com right now to get your sample pack. That's TriRexMD.com.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
Honey, bags are packed and in the trunk. Is the car good to drive to Mother's holiday dinner?
Yes, dear. Car's good. We have Ox Car Care for their extended car service plan. Ox covers our repair bills if anything happens. We have no worries if any problems come up on our holiday travels. Ox Car Care has our back.
I remember. Ox has flexible coverage plans that can protect issues with engine, transmission, brake systems, and so much more.
Yep, we don't pay. Ox pays. Ox gets it fixed for us. Joe at the auto shop says Ox Car Care pays them directly, and there's no complicated paperwork. Ox is A+ rated, with already millions of dollars paid out in claims.
Right. They handled our claim from start to finish, unlike those other companies. Good call. The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill this holiday. The only thing now is, which pie is Aunt Martha making?
Drive with absolute peace of mind this holiday season. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-296-3315. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox today. 800-296-3315. 800-296-3315 or oxcarcare.com.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. Find the best deals on the Hardee's app. Items available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The jury's still out. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Day 4 of deliberations in the New York subway chokehold case after the jury told the judge earlier today they could not reach a unanimous decision on manslaughter, the top count against Daniel Penny for the death of Jordan Neely.
At that pivotal moment in the trial, the judge gave what's called an Allen charge to jurors, explaining to them that if they don't reach a verdict, there will be a new trial with a new jury. The judge has told the prosecution and the defense he's going to review case law to figure out how he should instruct jurors on the lesser charge, criminally negligent homicide. So far, jurors have asked to review lots of video evidence in the case, to include the widely circulated video of the incident on the subway in May of last year.
Fox's C.B. Cotton, the jury also asking the judge today to clarify the legal definition of a reasonable person. A 15-year-old is shot and killed by police in Akron, Ohio, where the teen's gun apparently wasn't visible.
Akron Mayor Shamus Malik stood next to the police chief Friday and expressed concerns about how 15-year-old Jasmine Tucker was killed by officers. Malik said he was concerned about why the body-worn cameras weren't immediately turned on and why police didn't immediately render aid after the shooting.
A gun was recovered from his zipped-up jacket pocket. Given that, why did the officer decide to use his weapon?
There was also a question as to why the officers who shot Tucker used a rifle. Chief Brian Harding responded to that.
Officers are using rifles now in response to what we're seeing on the street. We place our officers in really complex situations when we ask them to respond to shootings, and so it's not uncommon.
The state's Bureau of Criminal Investigation is looking into this use of force incident.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Investigators say it began when officers in a cruiser heard gunfire. The first person to stand trial for the Capitol riot gets slightly less time in prison, now under 7 years. Guy Reffitt of Texas resentenced today after a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that limited the government's use of a federal obstruction law. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The official 97.1 FM Talk Weather Center forecast: sunshine, a few clouds for the afternoon. The high today 42. Clear, chilly night, low tonight 30. And then sunny, warmer day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds, a mild day on Sunday, the high 64. Partly sunny, looks like a nice day on Monday. Very mild afternoon, the high at 59. I'm Steve Williams for 97.1 FM Talk.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost hundreds of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com to get your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility in minutes. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. I've gone from 237 to 195. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
Get started right now with your free insurance benefits check and see your eligibility for coverage in minutes at TryLifeMD.com. That's TRYLIFEMD.com.
Lifestyles Unlimited, the education and mentoring group with a roadmap and support to help you real estate retire.
Having the consulting team, having other avenues within your whole system is what's made y'all successful. Everyone is there to guide you to be successful. So it's just up to you to get off the butt and do it.
Do it. Take action today. Get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
If you're looking for all the comforts of home plus some in a senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville, just off the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. They'll even treat you to lunch. Set up your appointment today and tell them Mark Cox sent you. WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on a Saturday, and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, our YouTube live chat poll for today on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. When will you consume news the most? Do you think that you really peaked before the election? Do you feel like it's now after the election while news is starting to roll in? Or are you anticipating the other side of the holidays? January rolls around. Fresh new year, fresh new president. I'm so excited.
New year, new you.
New us.
New everyone.
New state, Canada.
Yes.
Is Greenland on the table?
I hope so.
I'm actually kind of excited about the thought.
Everything is for sale, Annie.
Here's the thing, though. Caveat, because if we take
You're going to say
Canada,
caviar. And I'm like, I'm not interested.
No caviar.
No.
Not here. When you take Canada, when we decide to make Canada.
When we take Canada. I like that. We will be greeted as liberators.
The 51st state, we have to also liberate Southern Illinois because the Senate seats. That's going to be a Dem-lean state.
This is the perfect time to do it.
Canada. Mm-hmm.
While everybody's distracted taking Canada, we secede.
Mm-hmm.
Are there still tickets available for the St. Clair County Republican Christmas Day dinner?
Yeah, I think so.
Party?
Yeah, that's tonight.
Who's the speaker?
Oh, gosh. He's somebody he's annoying because all he does is hawk his new book, The Grocery List.
Brian Wiggins, featured speaker at the St. Clair County Republican Christmas party.
That's tonight. Oh, be there or be a square. We're taking Canada.
St. Clair County?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you mean Southern Illinois is going to
That
take
should be
over
your
Canada.
speech.
And that's how it works.
I
Is our
haven't
terms.
thought through the details.
I wouldn't. I would go with that.
Okay.
That should be your speech. How to take Canada.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I have a whole speech prepared. I'm going to crumple that thing up, throw it out.
Oh,
Here's
man.
what we're going to do tonight.
I got to speak from my heart.
Republicans, Missouri and Illinois alike. How important is it to be invested and involved in your county Republican organization?
That's actually one of the reasons I'm going to this tonight, is because I just want to encourage people, because there's so many people. We meet them at events. We do the golf events every year with them.
Yep.
And different things with Madison County too. There are so many people working all the time, and a lot of them just volunteers. They're just working because they believe it's the right thing to do, and they're working hard, and nobody will ever know their names. And I get to go tonight and just hopefully be an encouragement to stay with it, stick with it, because we're seeing progress all over the place. And in Illinois, man, you got to be devoted, and they are.
I'm actually going to be at 2 events in 2025, and I don't have the specifics on the dates and everything, but we'll be talking about them here. Some northern counties that I haven't gone to speak to and be at those dinners. So I do a ton of stuff with Madison County, done a ton of stuff with the great people in St. Clair County Republicans as well. I've done stuff with Missouri, Jefferson County Republicans, St. Louis County Republicans, St. Charles County Republicans. Go find your county Republicans. And I'm going to tell you this, and you county Republican people who are listening right now, hear me out. If you think, if there's somebody out there right now who's not involved with the county Republicans, and you're like, oh, I don't need to be going to golf scrambles and dinners and all the time, but you are complaining about your taxes. If you're complaining about your personal property taxes, Missouri, if you're complaining about your property taxes, Illinois, maybe Missouri too, why not complain about another tax? If you're complaining about the stupid laws that your state government will or will not enforce, and I'm talking to both of you. You got supermajority Republicans on the West, supermajority of Democrats on the East, and we're all a little bit frustrated with what's going on in our states. Go sign up at a county Republican event wherever you are. Go to one. Find them on Facebook. It's probably the best, easiest, no-brainer thing you can do. Find it on Facebook. And if you are looking through and you're like, gosh, these people have a ton of great ideas, or these people are moving and shaking, find something that fits your lane and participate. If you're looking and you're like, these people aren't doing anything I'm interested, get involved and come up with something that you would be interested in, because there's another person in your county that would be interested in the same things that you are interested in getting involved in, that maybe they haven't tapped into yet because you haven't signed up yet. Get involved. It's so important. The county Republican, the local level of government, you can make a massive amount of change. St. Clair has gone in a really, really great direction in the last few years. Madison County, fantastic. That's where you really, really start to make an actual difference in your daily lifestyle.
And just be a poll watcher, even if anything. I mean, that's a great way to get in, because you know exactly what that is. You vote, you walk in, you see people sitting there, you say their name, and they give you your ballot. That's a great way to start, because that's very needed actually in our area, because, there's a lot of people. We would like more people to be watching more precincts.
Yes.
That would be very good.
You also don't have to live in the precinct you watch.
No.
Illinois.
We're looking at you. St.
Right.
Clair, Madison counties.
You want to find out what we missed this week?
I'm ready.
Brad, don't look at him like he actually has to say.
What did I miss?
This is where we go to Brad, and he walks me through all of the things that he pulled and worked hard to get on the show, and they just got left on the cutting room floor, not because they were bad, but I didn't get around to them. And I say, do you want to do what I missed? And Brad just very nicely looks at Ryan like, do you want to
And I was
it?
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
I'll tell you later.
It's just a common courtesy. I'm so nice to him, and he treats me like that.
Exactly.
Hangs me out to dry. I've got a video for you guys this week, which I'm very excited about. This is Charlie Kirk, and he's talking to a student on campus about the separation of church and state.
My name is Ranger. Nice to meet you. All right, hello, my name is Ranger. It's nice to meet you both. So I have 2 questions for you. The first of which is, you were talking about you want an America that fears God. But it's believed to be back to the fundamentals of when this country was started and the Constitution was made, that there's supposed to be a separation of church and state, but it seems you don't believe that anymore.
Well, where does it say that in the U.S. Constitution?
It was written in the Constitution. I don't exactly remember what part, but it has been written.
It's not, actually.
Pause. What's on this Challenger's shirt? Do you know? Do you identify
Is that a bunch of... That's not Pokemon,
Those
is it?
are furries.
Oh, is it?
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh, I should know.
Yeah, you should. That's like your
I
area of
just now
expertise.
noticed. Yeah, that's the cartoon version of furries.
Yeah, I was on a plane one time with a furry that was in full costume.
Yeah. There's a convention going on. You were headed in that direction, right?
I was headed to Pittsburgh for a Cardinals baseball game. Thank you very much. And I did not know that July 4th is the furry convention in Pittsburgh. But I found that out when I flew there with the furries.
You called that Liberation Day, right?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I called that, what do I do now? Anyway, is that really what it is?
Yeah, those are furries. That's a cartoon depiction of furries.
I don't know if you guys did the same thing, because I saw that this clip was circulating, but I hadn't watched it yet.
Mhm.
I think I was in a place where I couldn't listen. So I've seen that it exists. The minute he asked that question, if you're a conservative, you know anything about the Constitution, you just start salivating.
Yeah. You're like, let him go. Let him go all the way.
Let him go.
Let him say everything he's got to say before I lay the smack down. All right, let's listen to it.
So, and that's okay. I'm going to help you out here. There's the free expression clause and the establishment clause. So what you're thinking is of the First Amendment. What you're thinking of is that Congress shall make no law prohibiting or promoting the exercise of religion or the free exercise thereof. Now, mind you, the separation of church and state is not in the U.S. Constitution. And that's okay. Not a lot of people know this. It is from a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1803 to the Danbury Baptist Convention in Massachusetts, saying to the church, the government will not come after you. There was no question at the time of the founding that God played a central role in all of our government. In fact, God is there in 4 times mentioned in the Declaration of Independence. And never should we, and you would agree, there should never be separation of morality in state.
So he's kind of laying out the framework of what really goes on here. What is the reason why people are so aggressive about it's constitutional that we have separation of church and state?
I think it's because they want to look back at the founders and say, look, this was their original intent. They're just wrong. That was not there. It's not there. Exactly right. I mean, Charlie Kirk, when this guy starts talking, the guy wearing the furry shirt has to be going, uh-oh.
This isn't important. This doesn't sway anybody's thought on what they're listening to. I think he's holding a purse that is Kirby.
That is Kirby.
Kirby.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Kirby from what was that, like 1990? I don't know.
It looks like a fanny pack that you wear on your arm.
It doesn't. I mean, it's just details. What were you going to say?
Well, what I was going to say is they want freedom from religion, not freedom of religion, and so they view any sort of religious something as an establishment of a state religion, and that's not what the Constitution says.
Actually, it's the opposite.
Yes.
Amendment numero uno gives you the ability to freely express and practice your religion.
And it means that the United States government or no state or local government could actually restrict that right of yours.
Or institutionalize one
Right.
that precludes you from being able to practice your own, which just gives you more religious freedom than it limits the government. Once again, all of these documents limit government from full reach of freedom to control your life, therefore protecting you from an overlording government.
Right. More? Yep.
But then I have another question, not the second question, but do you believe there should be a separation between those two things, church and state?
Well, it depends on, let's play it out. Do we currently have that? During COVID, the government was able to shut down the church. Should that be allowed?
I mean, I don't believe so, no.
Okay, so the point is that we don't even have separation of church and state because the state was able to tell the church whether or not that you could practice on Easter. Now, that's the standard that they currently have. Do I believe in a separation of morality and state? Of course not. Now, the morality that built the West is the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments is the best rules of life for any society to flourish and to be able to succeed. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall have no other idols. You shall not take the Lord's name in vain. Honor your mother and fathers. May live long in the land of which you are in. Honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Do not murder. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Do not covet. Do not commit adultery. It's out of order, but that's still the 10 Commandments. Those rules for life is what the founders believed, so much so that they're in the halls of Congress and the Supreme Court. That we believe is transcendently transmitted to us, and that when we do not submit to those 10 Commandments, our country starts to fall apart.
But if you think about it, most wars when religion gets entangled into a culture and even government, most wars have started because of that.
So that's a talking point that has no basis, and that's okay because a professor told you that. So let's go to the truth. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. What religion did Mao Zedong believe in, the great murderer of China who killed 50 million people?
I don't know.
Yeah. He was an atheist. What religion did Joseph Stalin believe in, who killed over 30 million people of the Soviet Union?
An atheist.
He was an atheist. So that's...
Just to interject here, whether he knew the answer to that or not, he looked like, I'm pretty sure he was an
I'm going to
atheist.
say atheist. Yeah.
I can kind of see where this is headed. I'm going to go atheist, locking it in.
80 million people murdered in 2 countries in just the 20th century that did not believe in any religion. So it's an easy talking point to say that religion causes war, but in reality, it seems as if actually totalitarian dictatorships rooted in atheism and a lack of the divine is what caused more human suffering in the 20th century than not. Adolf Hitler was not a Christian. Adolf Hitler was at war with God and thought he was God and a total maniac. So there is no basis for what you're saying. You might be thinking about like the Crusades or something like 600 or 700 years ago, or the Inquisition. If that's the case, I think you need a better argument because religion actually keeps people sane, free, and moral, not towards war and conflict.
But isn't the war that's currently occurring in Israel and Palestine over religion and their land?
Yes and no. It's more over territories and boundaries. Of course, they're religious wars, but if you look at the major wars over the last 30 or 40 years even, some are religious, some are not. But Russia and Ukraine, are they fighting over religion?
No.
No. Or Central African Republic Civil War, are they fighting over religion? No.
So Charlie Kirk, this is one of the reasons why I love this. And Brad, you're the one who picked it up for what we missed. But Charlie Kirk is not dunking on the libs. He's not trying to own the libs. I think that we are going to see in the next, our YouTube live chat poll for today, when will you consume the news the most? Before the election, which means it's in the past, after the election, right now, while we're seeing all the fallout from Donald Trump winning re-election. And then, of course, the one that I think I would choose in this poll is around the inauguration. Once we get into January and we see how the Biden administration, the moves they're going to make when they're wrapping things up, but then Donald Trump gets in and it's going to be boom, 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 over and over and over again. We're going to see so much action immediately. That's what they're telling us. If they don't, I'm going to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm going to be keying in and focusing. I'm really saying this to my industry, but also to any of you who are going to be getting together with family and friends where you might have political differences that are going to be front and center. This is not the time to own the libs. Scoreboard. Trump won, and you know it. You know the song. Donald Trump won the election. He is going to be the president. He is going to do the things that he said he was going to do. We got to let this play out. And you will not tune into this show come January to hear us talk every day about how stupid the liberals are that you deal with every day, people who you live your life next to and with and have to work with and live with and you have relationships with, because there's no productivity in that. Now, there are going to be people in the left stream media that are going to be beside themselves, and I don't really care about how we feel about those people because they're making money to be hysterical. So let's give them what they want, attention. But it is not going to be time for us to come in here every day on this show specifically, and we're not going to do a victory dance for 4 years. We're going to do individual victory dances when policies get put into place, because what we elected was a plan, was a focus, was a goal. It's not enough to just be like Trump won and you know it, period. We're going to have to see action over and over and over again that convinces people who might be willing to have just a sliver of an open mind about what could happen under Donald Trump that never would have happened under Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
To say, these are the things why I supported Donald Trump. Everything you thought you knew about Donald Trump before, you've been lied to about so much. I even understand why a lot of people hate him if they've only heard the absolute lies and deception that they've been told for so incredibly long. Almost 10 years now. I kind of understand if that was all you were fed from so many various outlets that decided to put their hands in the middle and be team never Trump. I understand. To welcome people in for the first time, to experience the positivity that we've been supporting. And, I don't want to be listening to conservative talk anything where all it is squishing down the left.
And that's the best case scenario, too, because then you know you're winning because you're pulling people over despite the messaging. You're pulling people over because they're seeing results. And that's all we're looking for here. We don't want to win to win. We want to win because we think these things, these conservative principles, are the best way to run a country. And if they are, and they work, and they benefit you, and you realize it, then that's a win for everybody.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to Next Question, fun segment that we do each Friday where you ship your questions into the Annie Fry YouTube live chat. Once you come, when you subscribe to the channel, you got to wait 5 minutes before you can comment. But if you go subscribe and you're trying to comment and it's not working, just wait 5 minutes and get your question. So here's a tip. Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel right now and subscribe. And in the middle of the next segment, if you've got a question you want to ask, your 5 minutes will be up and you'll be able to comment with everybody who is with us each day on the YouTube live chat. You got a question for us? You got a question about what we think is going to be coming, or you want to ask something about a penguin or something? We're all over the place in the next segment. We want you to come hang out with us there too as well. Vote in the YouTube live chat poll. When will you consume news the most? Before the election, after the election, around the inauguration? We'll be back in a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Lutheran education is accessible. It's achievable, period. I think a lot of people haven't considered the alternatives to public education, mostly because you're like, gosh, we can't afford that. We can't make that happen. Wrong. Did you know there are 37 Lutheran schools in the bi-state region? Did you know that there are a lot of Lutherans in the area that have gone to Lutheran schools, but there are a lot of people who are not Lutheran, you have a different faith walk. Maybe you're not really a church-going person. You absolutely can still go to a Lutheran school and benefit so greatly from that experience. When you attend a Lutheran school, you sacrifice nothing when it comes to access, opportunity. In fact, you elevate your child, you elevate your grandchild to have opportunities that aren't being afforded to them in their current education state. Now, consider what a Lutheran education can do when you turn your child over, you drop them off at school or whatever, and you let them go into the classroom, but you understand exactly what is right, what is wrong. You understand that they are going to advocate for an environment that you're going to support. You don't have to question the type of things that they're going to be learning in the classroom. Lutheran education is there to make all of that possible for your child or for your grandchild. And did you know that you can make it possible for another child? I'm talking to you right now. You went to a Lutheran school, you sent your kids to a Lutheran school, and you cherish that knowledge that they were able to learn and that culture that they were able to participate in. Have you ever considered making that possible for another kid around the St. Louis area? You can, whether it's for your child, your grandchild, or you just have the generosity in your heart right now to make it possible for a kid who needs a Lutheran education. You need to go to their website. It's Lisa with an E, LESASTL.org/Annie.
Ho, ho, ho! This is Santa, and I'm going to be in the Defiance Christmas Festival Parade Saturday, December 7th. Food trucks open at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m., kids' activities, including a bounce house, along with live music from Clover and the Dashing Through Defiance 5K. Sign up at runsignup.com. Parade starts at noon right through downtown Defiance. Please, no Santa costumes. The kids come to see me. Following the parade, pictures with me, Santa, and a beer tent with live music at 1:30. No coolers in the park. That's Saturday, December 7th. Come and see me in Defiance. Ho, ho, ho!
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too. To help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Level up the comfort of your home this winter with either free attic insulation or an air scrubber. With a new HVAC system installation from Air Comfort Service. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Friday afternoon, it's a Reardon Roundtable at 3. At 5:25, Garrett Price. He's the director of a new documentary on Max called Yacht Rock.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Is this song?
It ain't a direction I like, I can tell you that much. Ching.
What? You said they ripped
Drum
off
roll.
The Who?
They ripped off The Who. The beginning of that song sounds exactly like Baba O'Reilly, except they changed one note.
Ryan goes, "Oh, this is a remix."
I was like, "Oh, this." Yeah, it was a I thought it was a remake of The Who. It's not.
You guys ready for a little next question?
No.
No, sorry.
Okay. Well,
you want to do something else?
Yeah, what else? I was going to ask you. You can't ask me that if I'm asking you that.
You want to do the next question?
All right, fine, Brad. You control it.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Next question.
I just didn't want to hear Kamala again.
Yeah, you didn't play the proper open.
An executive decision. All right.
All right, I'm going to take control and ask the first question.
You could have taken control 3 minutes ago, and this would have been better.
Here we go.
Okay.
Aisle seat or window seat?
Window.
Ooh,
Every time.
Why?
Because then I don't have to deal with people.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm window seat too, because then you don't have to stand up and let anybody past you. And you get to look outside.
Yeah, but if you're aisle seat, you can get up and go to the bathroom without ever bothering anybody and never asking
I'm
anybody.
okay
The only
with
reason it
bothering
matters
others.
is if you are somebody who's going to have to get up and go to the bathroom. I understand at your age you have to pee a lot.
No, I eat Super Beets.
That's not even true. The Super Beets part
doesn't help with that.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Super Beets / Brian.
What? Don't give him credit for your... What are you talking about?
I'm going to send that to him.
Please do. Send it to Allison. So, no, the answer is aisle seat. The correct answer is aisle seat because you have more space.
The correct answer for you.
You can spread out a little bit more into the aisle than you can onto the hard side of the
And then
window.
people walk up and down and they bump into your shoulder.
Yeah.
When I'm walking up and down, I feel like I'm bumping into people.
It happens, but you still have more space when there aren't people walking by.
I don't want that space. I want to be curled up against the wall that I now wipe down after that woman vomited on it.
Oh my gosh,
Next to me. And I just was like, okay, so there's vomit.
We
on
sat
all of these walls, everywhere, all the time.
We sat on a seat on a real cheap airline coming home from Florida once, and my daughter was with me, and she doesn't fly a lot, but there was a something in between our seats that looked like, how do I describe it? The Nickelodeon stuff, but orange. Like the ooze that they drop, the green ooze.
You're not implying something. You're just describing
I'm
it.
just describing
Okay.
it. Yeah, the Nickelodeon ooze, but it was more orange and yellowy.
Gack?
Gack.
Yeah, it would have been like gack, but it was dried. Oh gosh, it's so gross.
What'd you
I don't
do?
even care. Like I'm like, oh whatever. I just downplayed it. I was like, oh, it's nothing. But I was like, oh.
He said, downplay. It's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I know, window seat. You get to look outside, which is nice and distracting. I love being above the clouds at night and seeing how crystal clear the sky is.
That's cool.
I love that. You can't get any of that when you're in the window seat or the aisle seat. Next question, Brad?
Yeah. So my question is, and when you first meet somebody or when you've met somebody for maybe, just in the early stages, what tells you the most about that person? Something that you observe.
Brian?
The way they approach me. Like,
Are
do
you
they
saying-
approach me with fealty, or do they approach me as if they're, going to force me to do something I don't want to do?
Are you saying what do I notice the most about the person, or
What is it that you notice that tells you the most about that person?
how much they talk about themselves?
And what does that tell you?
How much they talk about themselves?
How selfish they are. That
Well,
would be the right answer.
I think it's human default to be self-absorbed. That is human nature. It's like a trained skill to be among other humans and present yourself as if you care more about other people than you care about yourself. Because I gotta say, like, other than familial relationships, everybody cares more about themselves than they care about anyone else, right? That's true, right?
By default, you almost have
It's
to.
human nature. So it is within the human psyche to care the most about yourself, but it takes some self-discipline to at least appear as though you're invested in something other than yourself. And some people don't have that skill, or they just don't care. And it's a lot easier to be in a relationship of any kind with somebody if they aren't only always absorbed with themselves.
What about you, Ryan?
Say the question again.
So when you meet somebody or in the early stages of getting to know somebody, what is something that you observe about them that tells you the most about them as a person?
Gosh, I want to hear what I want to know about them is what they believe.
Yeah, but what can you observe that would tell?
What you observe that says that? I have no idea, because it's all about that conversation that I'm having, and I'm probably going to, if I really want to know the person, and it's not just like a hello, we're at, the bus stop, which I don't really do. I don't really use the bus a whole lot, so it's a bad example.
Can't answer the question.
I don't know. It's all conversation. So
what about you, Brad?
It's hard to do this because, I think I understand what Ryan's saying here, because observational traits are hard for me to pick up on initially. I'll pick up on them later on, and I'll observe a pattern or something like that.
Oh, I'm assessing everything.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Man, I was so bad at picking up when girls liked me or disliked me before I would date. When I was dating,
I missed out on so many girlfriends.
I did too, but then I also would assume girls liked me who did not.
Wait. What?
Yeah, the
he had women all over
the
who
junior
were
high
wanting
girlfriends.
him.
I had a crush on this girl for the longest time, and finally we moved, and I'm in a different town. I was back talking to one of my friends from the old town. He's like, that girl that you liked? Yeah. Dude, she had the biggest crush on you. And I'm like, what? How long did you know? Oh, the whole time. Why didn't you say anything? Because there was nothing that I observed that told me anything about that, and it happened on multiple occasions.
Yep.
How'd you deal with your women?
Oh my gosh, poorly. Terribly.
I don't understand how you had that same problem, because you said you would just approach a girl
well,
no matter
I would,
what.
But
I am certain she is
Brad's I had so many women coming after me. I don't understand how you had that problem.
I didn't know it. I didn't assume it either. My default assumption was that they're not interested in me, so why bother?
Brad, you have to keep in mind, when I told that story about approaching the prettiest girl in the school and being like, you probably want to go out with me, right?
Her response was what?
Her response was, no. I'm dating, this is when we were freshmen in high school. She was dating a guy who was either a senior and the captain of the football team or was already graduated. And I'm like,
and you're like, I know
but
you
it's
want
probably me next, right? I mean, it's me. So I was completely clueless and wouldn't pick up. So when a girl didn't like me, I didn't notice. When a girl did like me, I didn't notice. So it was all across the board.
But your default assumption was, she digs me.
Yes.
I kind of.
That's
mine's
a
the
default
opposite.
assumption still.
Kind of, yeah.
Not false, but assumption.
Mine was the opposite.
But when a girl did like me, I was completely oblivious. So it was like the worst of all worlds. And you? Atu?
What?
Anne?
All the girls that were throwing themselves at me when I was in high school?
How'd you deal with that?
I don't know. I had boyfriends. All the boys that I dated, were all really nice, great guys. Obviously, I got the best of them with Jared, but I don't know of any boys that had crushes on me in high school. I don't know of any of that.
But they might have. Is that the point? That
Probably.
they might have, but you didn't know?
Probably not.
You didn't have a big class, though.
Well, I went to the Lutheran high school. Well, I went to Edwardsville for 1 year, and I dated one boy from there to Edwardsville.
My graduating class was like 450 people.
And when I dated from the public high school, I think the whole time I dated him, I was at the Lutheran high school, so I wasn't in school with him. But I don't know of any lost connections, missed connections of boys that were too afraid to pursue me. I I was not beating them off with this.
I don't know if I ever told this story, but there was a girl who was absolutely gorgeous, and I basically would just talk to her just to make I'm adjacent to a beautiful girl. I know I don't have a chance with her, but I'm gonna pretend like I do. That was the false confidence thing. She basically told me once she liked me and that she wanted to go out with me, and you're probably joking. Like I look back, I'm like, what are you doing? She was telling you liked her. I just get so mad at myself.
Here's a question from the audience on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. From Joe? He said, "What's the most posh celebrity moment of Annie's career?" I'm going to broaden this to be from the show's standpoint. I guess there are people who consider what we do to put us in the category of being celebrity. I will tell you this, I don't ever feel like a celebrity. No. And it's very bizarre to even consider that question. When I won the first Gracie Award and got to go to New York City and got to go to this like lavish luncheon and be honored with these like actual celebrities, I seriously never thought it was real. And I've even told these guys this. When I won that, I'm like, nobody else probably submitted. I really felt like I was probably the only person in a large market midday talk show that was a female. I'm like the only one. So that's probably why I got it. But being able to like see that through and fly to New York City, I'd never been in New York City before. Went as hardcore NYC tourist as I could possibly do. I would love to. We're trying to figure out how to get the show to New York City for some sort of experience like that. I don't know. I have to win another award, so don't hold your breath. But is there any moment that you guys can think of with the show where you felt like, okay?
Yeah, I mean, anytime this happens, it does feel that way. But specifically at the Tyrus event, when he was in town at the pageant, that's
at
people.
The pageant?
That's right, the
Wildie.
pageant at the Wildie. Yeah. People come from out of town to see Tyrus, and so there's a lot of people there who didn't know who we were or anything. They were just there to see Tyrus. But then we had a lot of listeners show up too. And when they were like, oh my gosh, I just love Tyrus, and then they turn and go, like, I love you guys, and almost put you in the same category, which we know we're not on.
No.
He's a national figure. When they do that, and then they're like, I want to get Tyrus to sign this thing, and can you guys sign it? Like, it's like they're putting you on the same level, and it feels higher than you should be.
Brad?
It's really hard for me to think of that moment because I guess the moment would be whenever I was first recognized in public.
By your uncle?
No, it wasn't my uncle. My uncle didn't recognize me until my aunt told him.
How long were you on this show? And your uncle is a listener of the show, or at least was. How long were you on? How long were you on the show before he knew that you were Brad from the Annie Fry Show?
What was it? I think it was like 3 or 4 months. So it was like, and like what happened was he was talking about the show, and he's like, and this guy Brad on the show, and my aunt goes, his big sister goes, that's your nephew, right?
That is so funny.
That's great.
That is so funny. It's like Brad's living this secret life.
The other thing that I've noticed is that I have both sides of my family, my Wiggins side and my mom's side, big families, all from this area, mostly from the Metro East, that I will have people come up to me at events and introduce me as my relative, and I don't know them because our families are that big.
Are they claiming you, like, in their daily lives, like, oh, Ryan Wiggins?
Probably, which I think is fun.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. All right. Well, we got more questions coming in. We've got a few of our own. So stick around if you've got a question for yourself. Get on there on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and drop your comment in the live chat there and go vote as well. When will you consume news the most? Did you do it already before the election? Is it now? You can't get enough of the news that's coming out of the transition? Or do you feel like it's really going to lock in here once the inauguration gets around in January? More Annie Fry Show and more next question next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
RulerFoods.com. If you are shopping for the holidays, it's the weekend right now. Maybe you're getting those Christmas cookies ready to bake, and you need to get the ingredients, all the flour, the sugar, all that stuff. It's there at Ruler Foods, and it's there for less. Why would you not shop there? This is the time. Make it like an exciting trip to Ruler Foods. You go to rulerfoods.com, you type in your zip code, and you find the one that's closer to you. And then you go in and you realize this store is awesome. It's clean, it's easy to shop, it's easy to save, and you kind of start to work it into your normal routine. Ruler Foods has savings on all the foods you love, but you can stretch your grocery dollars further this holiday season with these 2 for $5 deals. Kroger cookies or deluxe ice cream, 2 for $5. Healthy Choice meals or Jimmy Dean breakfast bowls, 2 for $5. Save on Kroger pizza rolls and corn dogs, 2 for $5. And enjoy Kroger coffee creamer or cottage cheese, also 2 for $5. And did you know you can get these savings delivered directly to your door? You can just go online, find that Ruler Foods, place your order, and there they'll show up right at your door, just like everything else that you're shopping for this holiday season. RulerFoods.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Mark Lindsay, former lead singer of Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale Friday, 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. Saturday, April 12th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
The Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll of the day is: when will you or have you consumed the most news? Is it before the election, after the election, which would be now, or around the inauguration? Let us know what you think about this poll today here on a Friday, December 6th in St. Louis. 146, 147. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is happening now. Tune in to the Annie Fry Show live stream. Vote and be a part of the conversation by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube. Subscribe and leave a comment. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Well, we're doing a little next question here. Your Ask Me Anything questions that you stick in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat. And Info Dude says, ask me anything, Annie, if you get a national radio show and can only take one of the guys with you, how mad do you think Ryan will be at you?
Really mad. You know what's going to be hard, though, for you is that if you take the show national...
Let me consider it.
And then you're doing a national show, but then you're still on in St. Louis. Like, I would only be participating in the parts that are on in St. Louis.
St. Louis parts.
So that's going to be tough on you.
Yeah.
I would say just take me with you.
What do we got to do to go national? I need you to pull your weight, Ryan.
Probably one of us needs to get caught twerking somewhere, and the video goes viral. You know, something stupid.
I think your last twerking video is why we haven't gone national.
Oh, well, then it shouldn't be me.
Just
it should
Google
be Brad.
Ryan twerking. Something will come up.
We could get involved in some sort of scandal. You know, I think that would help.
I'm all for you doing the scandal thing. I'm trying to be as scandal-free as I possibly can. Next question. Scoot says, have you considered taking the show to the inaugural? I'm not considering it. I would like to go. There's a difference between going and participating and covering. You can't really fully do both.
I am down for whatever. If we can be there and covering it, I will do that. And I will be very official, and I will make no jokes. If we can't cover it, I would love to sit there and make jokes, though.
97.1 will absolutely be covering it. We're not 100% sure what it's going to look like. We've got to see. Being the Fox News radio affiliate here in St. Louis, we have a lot of access to a lot of really great coverage. So on Inauguration Day, it's on Martin Luther King Day. So a lot of people will be off. So I think a lot of people will probably be consuming it visually, but it's always fun to do it with your community, and you are our community. So stay tuned, and 97.1 will update you on how we are going to be 360 covering the inauguration. I'm really excited. It would be awesome to go, though. If I were provided the opportunity to go, I'm going. But barring that, I'll be in this chair talking to you, God willing. Paul says, at this stage of life, what, if not radio, would you be doing as a career?
I would probably shoot. Like what I would like to do or what I would have ended up doing. I guess either way. I would probably be living in a cabin and just, living with the land.
Off the grid?
Just living with the land.
You'd last 12 hours until you got hungry.
Well, then I guess the answer is I would be dead.
This is saving your life.
Because I would head out to that. Like 12 hours later, my beard is all down to my stomach. I'm all frazzled. My clothes are all torn. I'm like,
12 hours?
I can't do it. I can't do this.
You're like Will Ferrell in Anchorman.
Yeah.
He's out of the job for like a week, and he's feral. Will Ferrell. Brad, what about you? What would you be doing?
I would probably be cutting grass, landscaping, and stuff like that. And then I would also be doing my youth ministry work.
Yeah.
So those two things would basically, the grass cutting would jump in where radio is now.
Mine too. Living off the land and youth ministry.
That does sound like a crime show.
Would you let him around your kids?
Their
kid's going to teach you about Jesus.
I would run for office for something, I think. I would just get in it.
Uh-huh.
What would be more fun? Doing a radio show or being a politician? I think a radio show is significantly more fun.
I think so too.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's just like we're just like the two old guys from the Muppets.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all. Did you have another? Next question?
Yeah, I can pull it up. It's pretty short though. Can anyone explain how the gift wrap Sandy paper is better than putting down toilet paper on the toilet seat? You know what I'm talking about?
It took gift wrap.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's that little thin tissue paper stuff.
Are you wrapping things with that?
Not this year. In the past.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you put it on somebody's porch, you light it on fire.
Can you ask that question again? And how long have you been waiting to get an answer to this?
It's been in the list for a while.
Yeah.
The gift wrap Sandy paper that you pull out at a public toilet, is that any better than putting a couple strips of toilet paper down on the toilet seats?
I don't know. I got to be honest. As long as we have female bathrooms, I'm not using those things.
I've never used them.
I don't get them. I just traveled, and again, I'm looking at this thing going, why would anybody use this? It's hard. You got to tear it. It's attached at weird spots. And then you put it down, and you're like, what did I just accomplish here? I'm not really sure. So I'm glad to hear that nobody else is using it either. Because I felt bad, like it's there to use.
It's a good thought. But boy, you boys suck at maintaining cleanly bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this unisex bathroom stuff, it's not a statement about people's life choices or lifestyles or identities. I don't want anybody who's going to pee on my seat. I have to sit on that thing or hover, and that is not ideal. No boys in the girls' bathrooms for that reason only.
Try being a guy.
No.
You got to sit down in the urinals.
I bet you do.
I don't want guys using the guys' bathroom.
Yeah, I know. Stay out of here.
Next question, Brad.
Oh, gosh. Got to pull my list up again.
Guys, this is called Next Question.
Yeah,
Let's have
my
the
phone
list.
went to
What's
sleep.
yours? You go ahead.
I've
then.
asked like 5 questions here. I'm going to let you. This is your second
All right,
one.
what's the most expensive mistake you've ever made?
Holy crap. I don't know. What's the most expensive mistake you've ever made?
This was when I was working at a car shop. Whenever we would change the oil, you would spray down the area with brake parts cleaner because that breaks up the oil, and that way when somebody leaves, there's no like oil drops just left over or whatever. And so I sprayed down the car with it was a Jeep, and the oil filter's on the side, so it runs down the side of the block. And I sprayed down the side of the block, and it leaked down into the starter. And when you check the oil after you change the oil, you start the starter, and you let it spin over for a little bit, and then you go and you check, make sure all the oil levels are right. When I turned the key for the starter, it arced and lit the side of the engine on fire because brake parts cleaner is really flammable. And it was one of those spots where there's a window like this one over your shoulder here, Ryan, where the customers sit and they can see you changing the oil. And that guy was sitting right there. I saw it light up, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw somebody stand up and come straight over the window. It was the owner, so he saw all of that. And then we had to replace his entire wiring harness on his Jeep. Because
You didn't have to pay. You didn't have to pay for that, did you?
Not that time.
Did
But you've screwed up allowance, and after you go out of that, then it's out of your own pocket, out of your own paycheck, and that ate up most of my you screwed up allowance.
Oh boy.
I think at that point you just quit, don't you?
I wasn't there much longer.
Have you made any really expensive mistakes?
Well, when I was first starting in television, I went to shoot a commercial, and I got there, and the battery on the camera, I set everything up. No. The battery was dead. And so they, of course, when you're shooting a commercial, the business has gone to great lengths to have either real customers there to sort of like give testimonials or be in the shot. They're all over, like setting everything up. So I had to come back the next day. Man, those people were mad. Rightfully.
I'm trying to think of them. I don't know. Probably just, I can't think of anything specific, but like you miss a deadline or something like that, and then you've got to pay useless money that if you just would have been more on top of it. I don't know. I'm pretty on it for those things. I'll probably think of something tonight, and then I'll tweet it for the world. All right, let's stick around and get to the 2 o'clock hour of the Annie Fry Show. We'll have the results of today's YouTube live chat poll at about 2:55, so keep it around for that. Before the election, after the election, or around the inauguration, when are you going to consume news the most? Stick around. Let's get Ethan in here in the 2 o'clock hour.
I've been hearing so long about government mandates all these years. It's coming true unless something changes this year yet. Then maybe it could be stopped. If not, homeowners, if you need an air conditioner, if your air conditioner is old now, get the equipment that you can still get before they say you can't have it. Not to scare you, they scared you. I'm just saying, the equipment we have right now, unbelievably better than what you have because your equipment's 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years old. So if you're looking and if your system's that old or if people are saying it's old and you new, I'm not going to waste your time. But if you call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers. All right. So it's not the easiest. I have forgotten the number, even as many times as I put it up. But 314-293-2600 or go to the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122. 800-987-6122.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, this is my last hope. The next step is getting them in the right arch supports. Our goal is to have that long-term change for them, to see someone that is in pain. I change things for them. See how we can help you with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-90000.
'Tis the season to give back at our annual Apache Village RV Toys for Tots Drive. Wear an ugly sweater and join us Saturday, December 7th in Hazelwood for Picks with Santa, chili, hot cocoa, cookies, and holiday savings on RVs by Jayco, Keystone Bontrager, and Fleetwood. First-time buyers, we have new RVs under $200 a month with only $100 down. Apache Village is a family business for over 40 years. Toys for Tots collected at both locations now through December 9th. Let us help you make lasting family memories. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV in Hazelwood and Wentzville.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
They're trying again to reach a verdict. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. In the New York subway chokehold case, the jury telling the judge earlier today they couldn't agree on the manslaughter count, the top charge against Daniel Penny in the death of Jordan Neely. The judge then gave so-called Allen instructions, telling jurors a new trial and new jury will get the case if they can't reach a verdict.
At that point, if the jury comes back again and still does not have a unanimous decision, the judge would then have to declare a mistrial. But of course, we know if there is a conviction on this most serious charge, there are high stakes for Daniel Penny, who would face up to 15 years in prison.
Fox's CB Cotton, it's not clear yet what will happen with the lesser count of criminally negligent homicide if the jury remains deadlocked on manslaughter. A quick verdict in Indianapolis, where 2 police officers have just been found not guilty for the death of a man they shocked with a taser and restrained face down while handcuffing him. The acquittal on manslaughter and other counts less than 3 hours after that jury got the case. Prosecutors said the officers acted recklessly while responding to a mental health crisis call from Herman Whitfield's parents. The defense argued the officers did nothing illegal. The coroner said heart disease and morbid obesity contributed to Whitfield's death. The FBI urging Americans to embrace encrypted messaging, warning about the vulnerability of regular texts that cross between different devices, for instance, an iPhone to an Android, after far-reaching Chinese cyber attacks around the world.
Any iPhone to iPhone messages or Android to Android messages are considered secure, as well as any conversation on WhatsApp.
Fox Business's Kelly Saberi.
Now cybersecurity officials are calling for new requirements for the telecom sector.
T-Mobile says their security defenses protected customer data. China has accused the U.S. of spreading misinformation about the cyber attack. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The official 97.1 FM Talk Weather Center forecast: sunshine, a few clouds for the afternoon. The high today 42. Clear, chilly night, low tonight 30. And then sunny, warmer day tomorrow, the high 55. Sun and clouds, a mild day on Sunday, the high 64. Partly sunny, looks like a nice day on Monday. Very mild afternoon, the high at 59. I'm Steve Williams for 97.1 FM Talk.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer. Or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Want to retire in 5 years or less? You can do it, just like Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa.
So we started passively. It was on vacation is when we realized we really need to take the plunge and be more active in this. Just because I'm an educator, I wanted to really know what I was doing. So it was just education on my part is really big. And I'm like, well, I could do that.
Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for just $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. Saturday, April 12th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
It's time to raise a little hell. The Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Saturday, March 1st, the Family Arena. With special guests Molly Hatchet and the Georgia Satellites. This is the farewell tour of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils.
And keep your hands to yourself.
Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
This holiday season, save $30 on the GTA 26 handheld garden pruner, now just $149.99. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Offer valid for a limited time, only at participating dealers while supplies last.
The Trump presidency is coming into focus. Keep it here for every twist and turn, because the updates are happening fast. 97.1 FM Talk. The vision and strategy for 2025 is here.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
Like, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Oh, happy day. 2:07 on a Friday, and we are happy to be with you. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. The news continues to soldier on. I've been kind of paying attention to the CEO murder United Healthcare thing. More interested in that than I am usually in these kind of crime stories that materialize. How weird is it? You know, we were talking the other day. I don't know if we did it as much on the air, off the air. We were talking about the fact that he shot him in the leg first.
Mm-hmm.
And we were discussing whether or not that made him a better shooter or a worse shooter. But the shell casings had words on them, right?
Mm-hmm,
So he had to fire 3 shots. Minimum.
Because each one had other different words? Or?
Yeah, or one of the shell casings was the one that he cleared.
But I mean, either way, they said he cleared it because what I was reading was that the gun had to be re-racked each time to fire a shot.
Yeah.
But he was so close, he could have just gone up and shot the guy in the head. But he left, there were shell casings behind that had words written on them.
And I guess each one had different words, is what I'm understanding, right? Like
three words.
That's what I just said.
So each, okay. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Defend,
so he was trying to
deny,
get a message.
depose.
Yeah.
Which is like a play on words from some book or something. But like the implication here is that this has something to do with the insurance industry, certainly. That you would expect that this guy who was murdered right there on the outside of his hotel, that it was about his position as in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
It just, the story seems weird to me. I mean, to me, it's like they thought the plot out so much that they needed to have all these details at the beginning of this episode so that you'd stay to figure out what happens in 60 minutes. And this is real life. This is a real murder that took place in broad daylight in New York City. Now, the latest news on this is that the Atlanta Police Department said New York City authorities have contacted the agency, will provide assistance as needed in the probe of the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The masked gunman wanted for stalking and killing Thompson traveled on a Greyhound bus last month from Atlanta to New York by bus. Seems like you said that already, Fox News. Law enforcement sources told Fox News the shooter boarded a bus in Atlanta the day before Thanksgiving. Sources within the New York Police Department said Brian Thompson was gunned down by the suspect before 7 a.m. Wednesday outside the Hilton in Midtown Manhattan. The APD said it was contacted by the New York Police Department on Friday as the manhunt for the gunman continues. Is it amazing how much you can learn about a single individual who's taking measures and precautions to cover their tracks to some extent, obviously?
Yeah, and the other thing the reason I was asking about the casings is because obviously there was premeditation here. So how did this guy know that much about the CEO, where he was going to be, what hotel he was at, when he was going to come out? Maybe he didn't know when he was going to come out and he was just sitting there. We don't know. But there's so much that you're asking, and you would have to be asking as an investigator, how did he know all this? Was somebody giving him this information? And then you start to try to find out who around the CEO had the information of where he would be at any given time to give that info.
Fox News also reports that the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, and his wife, which we've heard about his wife, his 2 high school-aged boys, were living separately at the time. Another wrinkle there.
Okay.
If you're doing like a murder for hire thing, is that how are you doing it before 7 a.m. in daylight in the middle of New York City?
Maybe you got to take what you are offered. You know, if you know that's the one spot you know where he's going to be, maybe that's what you got to do if you're the hitman.
My understanding was that this healthcare conference that he was at started on Monday. And what day did we have Harris Faulkner on? Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
So the shooting was on Wednesday. So if this guy was in New York City before that day, which it appears as though he was because he came from Atlanta, Thanksgiving week, if the shooter was in the area, he could have been watching him for days before he, probably you could watch what his habits are. When does he leave the hotel? Where does he go when he leaves the hotel? You could kind of pay attention to him for a while. So, because initially there were people asking like, well, how did he know he was going to be at this? Because there are multiple hotels that people at this convention were staying at. You can look up any convention and see what hotels are recommended. So you could presume that there would be this hotel or that hotel, but you could spend the days leading up to this and watch him and know where he was going to be and have an idea of when he'd be coming out. But the thing that really pushes it to the forefront of national interest is that clearly the shooter wanted to send a message. Writing words, like when you're watching CSI New York and they're like, we found casings at the site of the crime, and they had words written on them. And you're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the words correspond. Like I even read the Fox News report yesterday of the guy who was like, listen, in the movies, people hire hitman to take out people to do jobs, whatever. It's not really realistic. It doesn't happen the way it's portrayed in your nightly crime shows or movies or whatever. It doesn't happen that way in real life, realistically, very often.
And you know what? That's good to know.
Yes.
Glad to hear that.
But then they're like, they had denied defend, oppose, or whatever on the bullet casings. Excuse me, what?
Well, I wonder if they say, look, it doesn't happen like that in the movies where you go talk to somebody in a seedy joint somewhere and you go, I'm looking to off my friend's husband or whatever. But if that's not that common, like if you don't have just hitmen, because I would think if you're a hitman and it's getting out that you're a hitman so you can get business, it's also going to get to the people who would arrest the hitman pretty easily. So I can see how you wouldn't have a lot of these people. But are they suggesting by releasing that information that this guy was acting of his own accord? Like he wasn't hired? Like he was the one with the grievance.
Scoot says on YouTube there are a bazillion cameras in Manhattan, none in Central Park. That's the part that's telling. I didn't know there were no cameras in Central Park.
Do now.
Why?
It seems like you would have them there. That seems like where you'd have them more.
Fox News reports the man suspected of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was captured on video surveillance leaving Central Park without his backpack. A law enforcement official told the New York Times the suspected gunman was seen wearing a backpack during a shooting outside a hotel in Manhattan's Midtown neighborhood early Wednesday. Following the attack, the suspect walked between two vehicles, got onto a bike, disappeared into Central Park. So he went into Central Park with a backpack. He went out without one. I mean, the backpack doesn't vaporize. Central Park go up against water?
I don't think so.
No. I think it's in the middle of the
Is
city.
it Battery Park that goes up? I can't remember all. I've been there one time, and it's just so massive and tall. They always say, like, when you're there, don't look up at the buildings. It shows that you're a tourist. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, okay, I'm looking down. There's something. Oh my gosh, I almost did it. Yeah. Keep your eye on my eyes are here. One of the things that I learned when I was in New York City after going through the 9/11 memorial, amazing. If you ever go, make the time, top priority list to make sure you get it done before you leave New York City to go through the tour at the 9/11 memorial. But I didn't realize this, that the rubble and the wreckage from the towers and everything coming down was so massive that they just dumped it into the Hudson and made Manhattan bigger.
I didn't know that either.
Mm-hmm. And they put a park on it right now. So you can, Manhattan, they tore our buildings down and we said, we'll make Manhattan bigger. I think that's kind of a poetic, sad, tragic, poetic way
They made a park where they dumped the rubble, or they made a park where the Twin Towers were?
They had to shovel. I mean, the towers are very close to the Hudson. And I think I'm saying that right. And all of the rubble, they couldn't ship it all out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would have been able to happen. So they put it into the Hudson and annexed Manhattan. Like they just changed the way the area is shaped. And it's a really nice new place. There's a really nice park out there. And that's, I did not, of all of the things that you know and learn, if you're a New Yorker, you're going to know that.
Yeah.
Because it's so it's so personal. But I didn't learn that until I went there. I think sometimes I get frustrated if something happens in New York and it's like a big deal because it happens in one of the big cities. It happens where it matters. And then here in St. Louis, it's something like this happens, it's like because the people who are making the news shows are more close to the danger than we all hear about it more. So I'm always a little apprehensive to dive head first on the stories like this that come out, but
yeah, it's like when the Yankees win the World Series. It's a bigger deal.
It's just a bigger deal.
When that guy lit the Christmas tree in Times Square on fire recently, it was always a huge
Well, that was
story.
last year, and it was Fox's tree.
Oh, that's right. That's why we heard about that
Fox
much.
News tree.
But that's really a good example of this, though, because Fox covered that like crazy.
Yeah.
If it was in St. Louis, same size, homeless person sets a tree on fire, you're not going to hear about it.
You kind of understand, though. If you kind of get it. And you wonder, is that like a hate crime?
Yeah.
But that was last year. The other news story that's coming out of New York City that I think has really not gotten the attention on the whole that it deserves, but the timeline of the story has really been parallel to the election. So, of course, it gets dwarfed because of that, is the story of Daniel Penny. Fox News reports jurors on the Daniel Penny chokehold trial returned to deliberations for a fourth day today for just an hour before telling the court they could not come to an agreement on the top charge, manslaughter, as they weigh the fate of a 26-year-old Marine veteran and architecture student accused of killing a mentally ill homeless man who threatened to kill people in a Manhattan subway car. Around 11 a.m. Today, the jurors sent a note to the court saying, "We, the jury, request instructions from Judge Maxwell Wiley. At this time, we are unable to come to a unanimous vote on count 1, manslaughter in the second degree." This is the top charge that he is facing. The charge requires prosecutors to prove that Penny acted with recklessness when he grabbed Jordan Neely in a chokehold. Neely had barged onto the train while high on drugs, threatening to kill passengers during a psychotic episode, according to trial testimony. Gosh, why is this difficult?
I don't know. This is why everybody, including myself, are so mad about this stupid case. Stupid New York. Alvin Bragg. What a joke.
When we're talking about Penny and whether or not he should be found guilty for manslaughter, I am at the same time asking myself, shouldn't we be calling Daniel Penny a hero?
Yes.
Like, it's not just like, did he kill him because he was reckless or not? It's like, this guy is a hero. You want a Daniel Penny around your kiddo when they're living their dreams in New York City. You want a Daniel Penny on every subway car because the law and order of New York City has been deprioritized by the yahoos that are running that local government. When I think about the people who I know personally who have served, who have a, would you say, certain set of skills, what if this guy would have injured, if not killed, which he was threatening to do, somebody on that subway car, and Daniel Penny, whose name we would never ever know, whose face we would never ever have seen, sat in that car, was another idle observer of this situation happening. Nobody would know it, but he'd spend the rest of his life thinking, I could have done something.
That's what's so evil about this and this Alvin Bragg guy. They're trying to send a message to people, do not protect others. We will come after you if you try to protect others and you have a hair that falls in the wrong spot, we're coming after you.
Well, it's not even just that. We're here to defend the criminals is what we're doing. That man was not having a good episode. I get that. But he would have attacked anybody that, tell me about the social worker. You're not going to send a social worker into a situation where there's somebody who's manic saying that they're going to kill people. He was just there, and he's like, this guy is not stable. I'm going to restrain him. And he restrained him. He did what a hero does. And now because the city of Manhattan has turned criminals into victims, Daniel Penny, the hero, is now on trial. This is ridiculous.
More Fox News reporting says Wiley said, that's a judge, he would give the jurors, quote, Allen charge instructions after giving the attorneys time to review. Allen charges refer to jury instructions given to a hung jury, urging them to agree on a verdict. They have a controversial history, with critics warning they can push jurors to change their views under peer pressure. They get their name from an 1896 Supreme Court decision in Allen v. United States. Penny's defense is asking for a mistrial to be declared, but the judge said he would give jurors more time and read them those Allen charge instructions. He told the jurors their vote must be unanimous, and if they cannot reach a unanimous verdict on the top charge, a new trial will have to be set with a new jury. It makes me want to cuss. It makes me so mad.
This is the epitome of everything that is wrong with the Democrat Party. Their priorities are so out of whack, and if we were dealing with an election that had gone the other way right now, I think we'd all be afraid that what we're watching happen in New York right now, is going to be what the entire nation is like. We don't, thank God, but this is such an example, because it's still going on, of what could have been for this country.
And the prosecution is local. It's not a federal charge, correct?
Correct. It's Alvin Bragg, so it's Manhattan.
Donald Trump can't go on January 20th and pardon him because they're not his. It's the same problem that he has with his own his own legal concerns in that district. All right, let's take a quick break. If you go join us on the Andy Fry YouTube live chat, you can vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Would you come say hi? We'd love to meet you. We'd love to see you there. The YouTube live chat poll is: when will you consume news the most? You think you've already met your peak before the election? Are you feeling it's right now after the election? Or when that inauguration sets in and Donald Trump is coming in and Joe Biden and whomever else is running the country? Oh yeah, Kamala Harris, she's there. Remember how irrelevant she was before she was running for office? It's kind of like right now. Thank God. YouTube live chat poll, go vote. We'll be right back.
Sunrise, another long night lost in eyes.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
But this is close, so don't go. Keep it coming in my direction. If you told me that my faith was on your finger.
TheDiamondShop.net's the website for that pretty little thing that you have been looking to purchase or shop for When you go to thediamondshop.net, you're going to find their address, their contact information, if you so choose. And you're going to be able to go visit them in Clayton, Missouri. They've been in St. Louis since 1910. These people know exactly what they're doing and how to help you and make sure that you are a fully satisfied customer. And when you're in the jewelry business and you're working with any one person, you're kind of investing in potentially being the generational jeweler for that family. I had my mom in to the diamond shop in November, and she was looking at some very, very beautiful things. You can find something for anybody at the diamond shop, men and women alike, and something that you can afford. They have budget range items for whatever you are walking in there thinking you want to spend. They can help you with that. And they will actually help you save even more now in December with 40% off all in-stock jewelry at the diamond shop. So visit them in Clayton and see how they can make a very, very special memory for you this Christmas season, this holiday season. 40% off all in-stock jewelry. And when you go online and become a VIP, tack on an extra 10% on top of that. TheDiamondShop.net.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Hey, it's Brady Cook, quarterback at Mizzou. I'm all for Macadoodle's Darden Prairie. We've got a world-class selection of fine wine, beer, and spirits. We've got a drive-thru, and we've got the friendliest customer service in town. Make sure you stop into Macadoodle's before every big game to stock up on bourbon, beer, and seltzer. While you're there, pick up a bottle or two from Macadoodle's world-class wine cellar. Macadoodle's is Missouri. Macadoodle's is fun. Come visit us on Bryan Road, just north of the Page Extension, St. Charles County.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Give the gift of comfort this holiday season with routine HVAC service included in a preferred partner plan starting at only $19 a month. To gift comfort year-round, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Stream it on the Odyssey app. The easiest way to listen when you don't have a radio.
Your home for conservative talk.
The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
They told me, pom-pom-pom, a newborn king to see, pom-pom-pom. Our finest gifts we bring, pom-pom-pom, to lay before the king, pom-pom-pom, rum-pom-pom, rum-pom-pom. So to honor him, pom-pom-pom, when we come.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Gosh, I can't get enough of that show or that song. They have in my YouTube algorithm that it knows And whenever I'm looking through YouTube to watch stuff with my kids and the For King and Country Drummer Boy song comes up, I'm watching it every single time. Because the show is amazing, too. At least the one I've seen on YouTube.
I can't believe I've never seen it.
Oh, really?
I mean, I was working in Christian music when that show started. I still didn't go see
The Christmas one? Or
I think so, yeah.
how long have For King and Country been around?
They really started to hit in about 2013.
This song is so good.
I think I saw them in a winter jam, like very early in their careers. Then I mean, it had to have been. I mean, when I was in middle school, is probably the last time I went to winter jam.
Yeah.
So it had to be pretty early then.
Is drums is their thing, or is it just specifically in that song?
I think it's that song.
Okay.
And in that show.
Because it's massive. Like
Yeah.
I love drums. I love drum lines. I love the movie Drum. Is it Drumline?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a movie called Drumline.
What's that guy's name in there? He's got like 30
Nick
kids.
Cannon.
Yeah. It's probably the best thing he's ever done.
I was going to say John Gunn.
Huh?
It was Nick Cannon.
You know, I get those confused. I think that The Drummer Boy might be the most underrated Christmas song. The whole I've talked about this before. It might even be on the Christmas special that the Annie Fry Show will be doing on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Please consider this your personal invitation. I know it's like weird. You're going to have family over. It's Christmas, holidays, blah, blah, blah. Why would I have 97.1 on the radio? I don't need that on my holiday day. We don't broadcast our normal stuff on those days. We broadcast the Annie Fry Show Christmas special. And it is company for you in that holiday period of time. And I'm very proud of it. And we have been, that Christmas special is 8 years old, I think. I think the first time I got the keys to that opportunity was in 2016 when the Annie Fry Show became a thing in June. And by Christmas, I was like, hey, can I do a Christmas special? And they were like, you want to take care of programming Christmas Day? Sure.
Yes, please.
And they are still just as thankful to this day as they were then.
But I love it.
It's one of the only reasons we still have a job here.
Yeah, that's just because we handle those 2
Yeah.
days when, air quotes, nobody is listening. But it is a really cool and special listening opportunity. And it can be background if you're kind of in between places or whatever, and you're in the car and you want to tune in, we'd love to have you. But we'll talk a lot about the Christmas hustle and bustle here on the show in the next, 19 days maybe till Christmas? 19 days.
Oh, jeez.
And in the midst of that, yes, everybody in this room is a Christian. Anybody have a problem with that, Peter? Nope.
What?
Anybody want to deny? We're all Christians. We all consider
3 times.
That took way too long.
Yeah.
It's
a deep cut.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd have to explain it, but there I am. Yes, we are Christian people. Christmas, Jesus is the reason for the season. That is a legitimate thing that we all believe in this room. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I bring everybody into the room on that one. But when I listened to The Drummer Boy, it was during this Christmas special, putting it together in the last 8 years, that I actually listened to the words of the Drummer Boy. Little Drummer Boy, and I realized that the whole story of the Little Drummer Boy Christmas song is about a little kid who is going to meet his savior, and he's like, what could I possibly bring? Like, you can't meet that moment with the grandeur that you were going to behold. You can't walk into that moment and be like, all right, King, let me show you what I can do, and then be like kingly in the same way that your Lord and Savior is. But the Little Drummer Boy is all about a little kid who was blessed by God with the talent to play a drum. And then you realize the story of that is that he plays his drum for him. He plays his best for him. That if you are a God-fearing person, if you're not a God-fearing person, I want you to know that God has blessed you with those gifts. God has blessed us all with these gifts. And whatever that is, whatever your gift is, when you exemplify that gift at your highest level with your whole heart, you're actually glorifying the God who gave you that gift. And that is an incredible, humbling realization for me as a Christian, who I think is super simple to go through the motions as a Christian. I'm born and raised Christian. I think it's always very compelling to be around people who weren't born and raised Christian because they have a fire for an understanding that maybe they didn't have before that. But it's really cool to think that God has blessed each and every one of us with different talents. And while it might not be preaching or like healing the sick or feeding the poor, that the talents that you have been given are gifts from God, and he wants you to use those talents to their greatest extent, and he loves you for them. I think that's a really cool story. And I did not think about it until I'm imagining a little boy with a drum. Just, like how innocent and simple is that? You're not solving world hunger or achieving world peace through playing a drum, but if God gave you that gift and you're glorifying God when you use that gift, then maybe you are.
Yeah, there's a famous story about Eric Liddell, if you've ever heard his story. The movie Chariots of Fire was based on him. He was a runner in 1924, I think, at the Olympics, and he was not going to run. He was from a very religious Christian family, which is different than just saying a Christian family. They were like very strict, very, very strict family. And they were saying, well, if you want to serve God, you got to do it this way, Eric. And he just kept running. Obviously, he's very good at it, won an Olympic medal doing it. And the reason he said, my family kept telling me, if I'm going to serve God, I got to do it this way. And he said, but every time I ran, I felt God. So I just kept running. And it's an amazing story. It's been many years since I've seen that movie, but it exemplifies that and the famous song that came from it and everything. Mm-hmm. It's a really, really inspiring story, but I think it's basically the message you're sharing.
Yeah, it's the same concept. It's like when you think about, I think it's really important to amplify that message too. As we're here, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a Christian, I'm a broadcaster, I'm a stubborn witch sometimes. There's a lot of things that I am. It depends on who I was when I met you. So there are people who are identifying more with some of those things than others. But I think it's really important when you are talking about yourself as a Christian, or if you are known to be a Christian, whether you're like talking about it all the time or not. If I were somebody, especially going through a holiday season, and the Jesus thing, it should get amplified a little bit more this time of year. Most secular understanding of what Christianity is a measuring stick of what is right and what is wrong. Do you measure up or do you not? Do you fall short? Do you exceed the expectations? And therefore, thumbs up, you're a good Christian. And that's all baloney sausage. That's not what Christianity is, other than to say that the measuring stick is there for everybody and everybody falls short. So if in the idea of like, what does it mean to be a good Christian? It would be incredibly off-putting to not be in the Christian faith and to see all these Christians who show themselves to be better than everyone else because they're simply Christians. That is a bad Christian. That is somebody who is not showing you that they have been humbled in the knowledge that they are insufficient. Permanently, eternally insufficient. If there's not humility in yourself as a Christian person, you haven't fully understand and grasped the message of true grace. So in the holiday season, when people go to church, it's almost church time again. You get to do the Easter thing, and then Christmas is coming, and you go because grandma loves it when you're there, and she does. Or mom and dad love to see you sit there, and you dress up, and you do it because you love them. Maybe you're not all like in on the church thing, but you do it. It's almost as a gift to the people who think that it matters to you. That the minute that you realize that every single thing that you've done in your life that makes you feel, when you measure yourself up to people who are doing all of the things right in your mind, and you're like, I haven't done everything right. The second that you realize that you guys are on the same exact side of where that measuring stick ends, you're both on the losing side, and you are both scooped up and placed on the winning side through nothing of what you've done on your own, but through what God has done for you because he loves you, not because you did enough for him that he has now stamped your get out of jail free card, your pardon, so to speak. Once you realize that you've been scooped up just because he loves you that much and placed you on the side where you've got a ticket to eternal life with something that is perfect, that true understanding of something like that as a Christian, that true understanding of something like that is what makes you so humble, because you know that you don't deserve it. You didn't qualify. Nobody qualifies. You've been qualified by something else. If you've ever received, have you ever, I mean, we don't have to talk about it in detail because it's probably not for public air, but if you've ever known that you have blown it so bad, you've screwed up so bad, and somebody truly goes, I love you, I forgive you. And you're like, in your mind, you're going, I really blew this. I really screwed this up. You should not forgive me. There's going to be a point in time where you're going to have to kind of forgive yourself for what you did. But if you've ever been so humbled by somebody who's actually given you the true understanding of relief from the burden of knowing that you've messed up so bad, don't you love that person in a way that you can't even really describe? And don't you want to be kind to that person and kind to other people because of that person, because you realize that you have something that could only have been given to you. You could never qualify for it because you've disqualified yourself. And when you've received that kind of forgiveness from a family member, from a parent, from a child, from a spouse, from an ex-spouse, from a friend, when you've received that type of, I forgive you, and you know that it's real, you feel like you could change the world with that type of relief.
Because you're grateful. And there's so much that just flows out of that gratitude.
And when you're grateful and it's coming out of you that way and you start doing good things because of it, it is a reaction to being qualified by something that can qualify you. Not because you're so good. Those good feelings and good emotions and everything, it comes after you've been made to be qualified. Not that you actually stamped your own passport. It doesn't work that way. And that's why I think that politics does weird things to the discussion of Christianity and faith because people start trying to position. But they're trying to position it as people who have political capital to gain or to lose, which is a crap way to have that discussion.
And really, you're having a larger discussion about morality. I've seen that conversation oddly break out since Donald Trump was elected. You see a lot of people asking this question, and it's actually mostly from the left because they're trying to score points.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the discussion, actually. They're asking, well, what does it mean to be a Christian nation? Does it mean that we're turning away the immigrant and things? You know, these debate points that they're trying to make. There's a great debate to happen there because it's all about morality, what's right, what's wrong, according to your Christian faith. The great thing is, if we start to have that conversation as a nation, I'm all for it, because we all got to go back to exactly what you were just saying. If we're going to have the conversation about morality, it's got to start from personal relationship first and grow from there. If we have the same Savior, then we can start to have a conversation about right and wrong. And that's where it has to start, is that personal spot, that relationship that you have. Then we can have the bigger discussion.
And the more you have that bigger discussion and that, the more, if you're honest with yourself, you realize you come to the same conclusion as everybody else, that I'm morally bankrupt. I've got nothing that I can look at and say, hey, I'm a really good person and you're a bad person. It doesn't work that way. Whenever you're honest with yourself, you figure out, oh man, I fall short in this area, I fall short in this area, and I fall short in this area. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. And that's where that humility that Annie's talking about comes in. You're bankrupt, you're spiritually bankrupt, and so you have to humble yourself, and that's when you have to ask for help.
I feel, well, and even if you don't ask for help, sometimes help shows up without you having to ask for it. It's not like a pre-qualification in order to receive the grace that is waiting for you. We talk about Christian faith probably more than most places do on the radio right now in news, politics, or whatever. And I don't ever want to shy away from it, but I also don't want to beat you over the head with it. I know you're not all Christians. I know you're sitting here right now and you're like, here she goes again. I get it. But I just want you to understand that we live in a world where everybody is really trying to cut out who they are and identify publicly. And I firmly believe that Christians have been made to be quiet for quite some time now, probably about 15 years or so, that it's been like, okay, you've had your time. You've had your millennia. You're going to sit down right now and we're going to let something else step up. And I'm here to say, I'm not telling anyone else to be quiet, but I'm also not going to sit down. Mm-hmm. And it's an important part of who we are. And if we're not going to talk about it during the Christmas season, when would we talk about it?
Yeah, we should talk about it more during the Christmas season and then the Easter season and maybe other seasons. Like we could probably find an excuse to talk about it. Any
The
season.
Are you saying
Independence
that-
Day
Like
season.
Independence Day season,
Saying
Arbor
that
Day,
Jesus
Definitely
is
Labor Day.
The reason for any season?
for really any season. Yeah, I'm trying to find it in Valentine's Day, but I can't find it there. But all the other ones.
You should look harder.
Okay.
When will you consume news the most? That's the YouTube live chat poll. Before the election, after the election, or around the inauguration. We'll be right back.
Shall I play for you? Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. On my throne.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Smiled at me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Me and my drum. Me and my drum.
Stewart's American Mortgage, the bagel loan guy. You heard him today at 12:25 12:25 when he came into the studio and was talking to us about the mortgage climate right now. The mortgage climate, like what is that? Well, you probably are paying attention to that right now if you're looking to buy a home. Did you hear him say he can close in 10 days? Did you hear him say that if you are looking to refinance and maybe even take some cash out on that refinance, that money could be in your pocket before the holiday gets here? It's pretty amazing. Stewie is a wonderful person, and that matters when you're doing business with somebody with such a big responsibility like your mortgage. I have refinanced twice. I'm a 2-time bagel loan customer of Stewie's, and if you are interested in figuring out how he can help you with your mortgage situation, you need to call him directly or text him directly. This is his cell phone number, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and tell him what you're looking to do. Purchase a home, refinance, take cash out, eliminate debt. He can help you. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon, and I live in the Fenton area, and I love that I have the largest locally owned sporting goods store right here where I live, Denny Dennis Sporting Goods. Their selection of hunting, fishing, firearms, and ammo is huge. Whether it's for you right now or for the outdoors person on your Christmas shopping list, check out Denny Dennis Sporting Goods in Fenton. Their prices and customer service will not be beat. Denny Dennis, where family traditions begin. I even bought my daughter a fishing rod recently, and memories are made forever. Denny Dennis on Gravois at the Merrimack River, Fenton, Missouri.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best, Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is: when will you consume the news the most? Was it before the election? Is it now after the election? Or will it be around the inauguration? Here's rooting for all 4 years of Trump's presidency. You want to consume as much of the news as possible right here on 97.1. 247. This time check is sponsored by, gee whiz,
Easy now.
Friday,
We're
almost
so
3
close.
o'clock.
So close.
Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon getting set for a Reardon Roundtable at 3. There's some new developments in the Danny Penny case. Annie's been sharing that with you. We'll have the very latest on the panel this afternoon. Jane Duker, John Gaskin, former state senator John Lamping. We get started after Fox News at 3.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. What are your favorite holiday traditions that you haven't done yet or have done? We went to the Polar Express. I put a video up. You can see it on my socials. I think maybe the YouTube channel has the short up. And I love going on the Polar Express. My son, almost 15 in a couple weeks. If you've been listening to the show for any amount of time, and I'm telling you that my son is about to be 15, he's my oldest, that's probably making you feel old as well. But he was a train kid. Were your boys into trains? Were you into trains?
No, I never was. I would say not really them, but were they into tractors and stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, they love, if we drove by a tractor, they'd be like,
Tractor!
Are you kidding me? Whoa,
That's funny.
look at that thing.
Because still to this day, if we are driving anywhere and there's a train, everyone goes, train! It's
Really?
just like, you just got to say it out loud.
We
You
do
can't
that
not.
with cows.
So do we.
Yeah.
Cows, any type of livestock that's easily, but mostly
Yeah.
cows.
We get deer in our backyard, too, so we do it with deer.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, yeah, you remember that.
And coon.
Yeah, we're going to try to
raccoons.
kill them now.
Yeah.
Eat them.
Brad, were you a train kid?
Not really train. Trucks. Big trucks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Always?
Always.
The Polar Express, the point of me saying this is that when we go do the Polar Express, there's a nostalgia that is attached to my son, I can tell. He's very good about being big brother about it to his 3-year-old sister and his 8-year-old sister. But if you haven't gotten the opportunity to experience it, try to make it work, but go to Union Station and see the beauty that they have down there. Ride the Ferris wheel, go to the different things that they have. You don't have to ride the Polar Express. It's an expensive ticket. I will say it's worth it if you can swing it. But there are lots of things that you can do on an evening down at Union Station that are really, really fun to do in the holidays. The other thing that I like to do is the shrine. I like to go through the lights at the shrine.
That was one of ours, too. The
Have
shrine.
you done it?
No, not yet this year. We actually do that really close to Christmas because typically we do Wonder Lights earlier in the season, and then we take a couple weeks.
Is that at Tillis?
No,
that's at the racetrack.
At the racetrack.
I've never done that yet.
Gateway.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's pretty cool. They have all the lights synced to different songs, and so no matter where you are in the drive, because it kind of takes a little bit, all of what you're seeing is synced to the music, and you just turn it on your turn it on your radio, and you listen to the whole thing while you're watching
You're basically driving the road course of the racetrack.
Are you racing people, Brad?
No, there's no room to pass.
You got to learn.
You're just getting really ragey.
There's a way to do it.
Move
though.
over!
You
bump drafting.
Ho, ho, ho!
Mhm.
Yeah.
You bring a ramp.
Launch.
You just get out and jump over them.
Uh-huh.
We're like, well, that's part of the show.
Yep.
Anything else that's around town that, or like any areas that you try to prioritize, or even
Around
things that you
town,
do
man,
in your house?
Gosh, I haven't put out our outdoor decorations yet. You know why? Because it snowed on the weekend that I would usually do it.
Yeah.
And we were out of town for part of that weekend, and the leaves are still on the trees. Like, I don't want to put the stuff up until I can rake the leaves, but there's still so many leaves on the trees.
Now?
Now.
You can put them out.
No, I can't.
Can we tune into this real quick? Yeah. Let's listen into Fox News. There's some Daniel Penny news. It says court dismisses Penny manslaughter charge. Let's listen to the report.
Count the most serious charge, second-degree manslaughter, and he told jurors just moments ago that he said, quote, what that means is you are now free to consider count 2. Whether that makes any difference, I have no idea. And then he sent jurors, now he's sending jurors home for the weekend and telling them they'll come back to deliberate the lesser charge, criminally negligent homicide, on Monday. So the trial is not yet done, but the latest here from the courthouse is that the judge has dismissed the most serious charge, second-degree manslaughter, and now jurors will come back on Monday to deliberate the second charge, criminally negligent homicide. As you were talking about before the break, Martha, there was some back and forth, particularly from the defense, who had some concerns on whether jurors should be allowed to deliberate the lesser charge. Defense attorney Thomas Kenneth telling the judge he thought it might be coercive to jurors. It appears like he's trying to get all of this on record, all of this in the court record to possibly perhaps bring up an appeal in the future. But for now, this trial is not yet done, and Penny's fate is still not decided by the jurors here at the courthouse. I want to send things back over to you.
Well, that sounds like pretty big news.
Yeah, it's not over, but the biggest charge is dropped.
If you're Daniel Penny, you're going to feel a little bit better this weekend than you did this week.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, this is good because, this is in New York. And still, they saw this as bogus.
Mm-hmm.
At least some of them did, because it's been dropped.
When we get to the other side of all of this, hopefully he's exonerated completely. He needs to get with a good writer. He needs to write a book, and we all need to buy it.
Yep.
Even if you don't read it, we should make this man rich.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a hero. Why? Right? Is there any question in our minds here that his willingness to step in the moment of fear where people less capable than himself were in danger, that he answered the call and protected other people? I mean, that was why he did it.
That's exactly what he wasn't looking out for himself. In fact, if he was looking out for himself, he wouldn't have done it.
He would just sat there.
So yeah, that's heroic.
The YouTube live chat poll for today. Ethan, you want to set it up for us? We'll answer it, and then we'll get to the results.
Let's do it.
Winnie, how you doing over there?
Oh, she's chilling.
She's too loud.
Ethan advocated for me bringing the dog in on the air one time, and I texted him today. I'm like, "Were you serious?" And he was like, "You bring that dog in."
My day got so much better when you texted me this morning asking me.
Someone asked me.
The dog shook its ears.
Someone said, "Is Ethan's new job holding the dog?" And if he can make it so, I'm sure that'd be fine with him.
Absolutely. It was very difficult getting work done the first hour that I was here.
Shh, don't say that.
And we're all I
was very productive today.
Yeah, the dog made you more productive.
Yeah. Maybe management's not listening today.
They're not listening.
They're not.
Today's YouTube live chat poll: when will you consume news most? Before the election, after, or around Inauguration Day?
Ryan, what do you say?
I say before the election, but close second is around inauguration.
Brad?
I'm an around the election or around the Inauguration Day, because that's like when the season starts. Right now we're in the off season. Who's he going to appoint?
Hot stove league.
Yeah. Who they sign? Who'd they get? And then there's all the
They signed
speculation. There's all the speculation
Sorry,
about
Ryan.
what your quote unquote team is going to be. And then Inauguration Day happens, and then the games start. And we actually will get to see the results. We'll start seeing results. And that's what I'm most excited about. So I am Inauguration Day.
Ethan, what about you?
I don't know if I will ever be more involved than I was on Election Day and around that time. I don't know if it ever gets that more crazy for me than it was during that.
I feel like it would be hard to beat before the election. And I don't know if this is just a position that I was in as covering it all the time, but there's a lot of new information. Like before it was just like hoping. You were just trying to find more details that made you feel good about what was going to happen. New information will be coming in January. Let's get to the results.
Here are the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. 200 votes. We just got that 200th. When will you consume news the most? 44% say before the election, 34% say around the inauguration, and 21% now say after the election.
It's pretty close. A third of you are still saying it's coming up in January, and we will be there to cover everything as it happens for you right here on 97.1, and we are really grateful for you. Don't go away. Don't go away. Mark Reardon. It's coming up next.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Have you ever been told you can't get into the water for 30 minutes after eating because you can cramp up and drown? And then you were told if you eat watermelon seeds, you're going to grow a watermelon in your stomach. Swallowing gum it'll stay in your stomach for 7 years. Don't sit too close to the TV or you'll go blind. Wow, these aren't your peers saying this is your, people you're counting on that you believe and you trust. Or the air conditioning that we have now isn't good enough for you, so you need to do this? I don't know, guys. If you have questions, you have doubts, and you want common sense approach to, heating and cooling your home affordably, call me, Bart Inman, one